Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. All right, looks like we're live. Let me fix that. Looks like we're live. Looks like we're live. All right. Guys, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Guys, if you don't mind, as we get in, tap the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 8,000 likes, and we will go ahead and get it started here. This is late nights, guys. This is late nights. I am excited to be here with you all this evening. We're going to have a great night of conversations, but I need you. I need active participation. So, guys, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. If you don't mind, I'm going to keep resetting the gift goal to these little 1-cent gift goals. It'll help boost the live as well. Knock that out, and we're going to go ahead and get started. If you are interested in joining the panel, getting the request, any and everyone can join.
This ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. No highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths, deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run a game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear. But you find us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it grow. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grow. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open. No judgment, just motion. Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights. Late nights with Santana. You already know. Late nights with Santana. Late nights.
Hey, welcome in, guys. Welcome in, everyone. This is Late Nights with Santana. We are back for another wonderful week of discussions. And this week, we are actually getting into something that's actually, I think it's very necessary. It's very necessary. Guys, if you haven't been paying attention, there is a divide that is occurring, and a divide that is occurring not in only just the MAGA party, but also a divide within the Democratic Party as well. So what I want to talk about this week is the two parties, two sides, right? The thing that we're going to get into is what's actually happening with these two parties, why we're seeing a split in both parties right now, and even more so, we're going to talk about words have meaning. where we're going to break down a lot of these different words that keep getting thrown around. There's some boogeyman words that are used on both sides of the aisle. And I think a lot of people don't really necessarily understand what these words are. So we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about how did you get here? Meaning, we're going to take a look back at the actual inception of certain political parties and how they actually developed into where they are, and the underlining theme that we're seeing within those parties as far as some extremists. I'll say it. We're going to talk about America first. And when I say America first, I find that term to be super interesting because while that is a term that has been kind of cultivated by one side, it's really something that both parties, specifically these new iteration of these parties, are talking about. And I want to talk about that. And last but not least, we're going to talk about one side, two parties. One side, two parties means that these two new split offs of the parties, I guess you can call them, they're pretty much saying a lot of the same things. We're going to get into it. So with that being said, if you are someone that is interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and tap the screen and get in the box. This is Late Nights with Santana. That means anyone can join the conversation. Anyone can join the conversation. You do not have to be a quote unquote op to join the conversation. You just have to be someone that is interested in joining the conversation, and you can actually join, right? And especially for this, this is really important because the only way that we're going to be able to actually have this conversation is if we have everyone, right? We need those people who consider themselves to be MAGA. Yes, absolutely. We definitely need them people who consider themselves to be MAGA, but we also need people who said, you know what, I'm not MAGA. I'm Republican or I'm conservative. We need those people. We need people who consider themselves to be Democrats. You're a Democrat. You stand behind the Democratic Party. We need you. But we also need people who say, I'm a leftist. I am further than what the Democratic Party currently is. So again, if you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and get in the box. We are going to go ahead and start bringing people up, and we'll get it started. As once we start to get you in, please mute yourself, and we will go ahead and get started. Guys, if you don't mind, can we knock out the daily gift goal? It's a little love you very much. We're gonna keep resetting the daily gift goal to get more push out to the FYP. So if you don't mind, can we knock those out? That will help. Also, send your daily heart. I mean, it's only one coin. That'll help boost the live as well. We're still just getting people in. We're gonna go ahead and get started here in just one moment. And let's grab you. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and get it started. We're going to start up at the top with Peter. Peter, how are you? Oh, Peter, I'll send you a request to come off mute. You might not know that you're muted. There we go. Peter, how are you? I see you're off mute now, Peter. Are you there? Okay. All right, I'm gonna drop you down. Spider. Spider, how are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Spider, are you someone that votes on the left or the right?
Left.
Okay. And do you consider yourself to be a Democrat or a leftist? What category do you fall into?
A Democrat, progressive, Democrat, socialist. Not really sure. But
Okay. So you would say a democratic socialist. Spider.
oh yeah, yes.
Okay. And for TikTok purposes, how old are you?
I am 32.
Okay. And what year were you born?
2003.
Okay. You wouldn't be 32 if you were born in 2003. All right. Again, guys, please only request up if you are ready to join the panel conversation. We're not looking to play games with anyone. So make sure you are of age and you are interested in joining the conversation. Again, this is a conversation for any and everyone who's not only of age, but on either side of the aisle. So let's see here. Voice in Velvet. How are you?
Hi there, Santana. I'm good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Voice, which side of the aisle do you land on, left or right?
Oh, I'm on the right side. I'm definitely a Democrat. I'm a Bernie-crat.
Okay, so you're on the left, you mean?
I'm on the left.
Okay.
That's why I said I'm on the right side. I'm on the right side, and I'm not on the right, but I'm on the right side.
Okay, all right. So you consider yourself to be a democratic socialist?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, give me 1 second. Let's see here. Arrow, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Arrow, are you someone that falls on the left or the right side of the aisle?
I'd say I'm a left-leaning independent.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so left-leaning independent. So meaning that you, as of now, you more so lean left, but you aren't against voting on the right if it's appealing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Give me a second here. Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Wonderful. Tyler, are you someone that votes on the left or the right?
I voted right, leaning towards the left.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of a right-leaning independent.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Give me a second here. Thank you. Let's see. Smith, how are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Smith, are you someone that normally votes on the left or the right?
I was right, but not as much now. I'm a bit more middle at the moment, a little unsure.
Okay. All right. Perfect. That's what we needed. Thank you so much. Give me a second. Let's see here. T Hood. T Hood, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. T Hood, can you tell me, are you someone that normally votes on the left or the right?
Far left.
Far left. Okay.
Progressive.
Perfect. All right. Give me 1 second. And last but not least, Mash, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Wonderful. Mash, are you someone that normally votes on the left or the right?
Fully left. I should have prefaced, I'm sorry I didn't hear it in the specifications, but I'm actually a Canadian friendly. I'm not sure if that changes things or not.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay,
Mash,
cool.
thank you for coming up. I'm gonna drop you down. I appreciate you, but this week we're focusing specifically on the divide that's happening currently in the Democratic and Republican Party. But you know what? If you want to hang around on Wednesday, when we kind of start to wrap it up, if you want to come back, I'll give you an opportunity to kind of speak on what you've heard and maybe how it affects what you're seeing in Canada.
Yeah, no, I honestly live in northern Alberta, so I live in a very conservative super riding, and I mean Alberta is Canada's Texas, so it's pretty bad up here. I mean, yeah, the amount of stars and stripes, Canadian flags I see up here in pro 51st state separation stuff, like it directly impacts like everything that goes on down there usually spills up here in no time. So I would absolutely love to be back for that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll get you back. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. What I want to do is we have a couple of different people that are for sure towards the left, but I would more love to get someone in that it falls in on the right. So we have a couple of different people in the request, but if you are someone that normally votes right and you are in the request, drop a me in the chat and I will bring you in. Drop a me in the chat and I will bring you in. We want to make sure that we have a little bit more balance on the panel and we are starting to get into the conversation. In the meantime, in between time, guys, if you don't mind, if you would please, yes, there is an age requirement. You have to be 18 years or older and a United States citizen in order to join the conversation. Those are the only two requirements. Those are the only two requirements because we're looking to speak with everyone on both sides of the aisle. So. One second here. I don't see anyone saying me specifically, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring someone in. Just going to go ahead and bring someone in. Let's see here. Hi. How do I say your username?
Just die.
Die. How are you?
I'm pretty liberal, so you may want to kick me.
No, you're fine. We'll go ahead and we'll get the conversation going. So you said you're pretty liberal. Would you consider yourself to be progressive or a Democrat? Like where exactly do you fall on the left side?
Progressive, but I'm starting to that's starting to change to Democrat socialist.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here, and we're going to leave the last box open, and hopefully we can get some more people in on the right. And we want to be able to have this conversation. Before we get started, I want to remind people a couple of different things, guys. First and foremost, while having this conversation, please use TikTok friendly language. That allows us to protect not only your live, but your TikTok, but the live as a whole. So please use words like pew pew, unalive, mustache man, C19. All of those types of things that will allow us to continue to have this conversation. And also, guys, please remember that this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel, nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat, guys, please be mindful. Caps are for mods. Please do not use caps. It will draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat if you use caps. And we want to make sure that we are able to actually have this conversation. Last but not least, guys, we do have a nightly donation goal of $250. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat and we'll read that out. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to start with Voice. Voice, coming to you. Voice.
Yes.
We're going to start with words have meanings, right? And when I say words have meanings, there's a couple of different things I want to talk about. But the thing that I have seen more than it's been rampant lately. There's a lot of people that have been running around, especially TikTok, and they use words that they don't necessarily know what they mean. They use words, they throw words around, and they don't have a full understanding of these words. And the words that I'm talking about, these are the boogeyman words like authoritarian, like fascism, like socialism, like communism. Those words are words that have been weaponized by both sides of the aisle. So, Voice, I'm going to start with you. You said that you actually vote on the left, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Do you know what authoritarianism or fascism is? And is that something that you normally use when talking about certain people that are currently on the right?
Well, yeah, I like you said, there's a lot of people that have been using these words. I really try to shy away from using them, just because I feel like a lot of people mistake one thing for the other. In the case of being authoritarian, I think I would say Donald Trump is one. I think that's very clear at this point. He uses his authority as a president not only to do the bidding of his own family, but also to do to basically benefit himself and benefit his donors. And so I think that's pretty clear to me. And I think a lot of people right now can see that this country is going in a direction where things are very problematic, because we are taking the opinion of one person, and that's the president, and he's using full control of his authority to make his will not only known.
All right, well, let me hop in and stop you for a moment. And the reason why I want to make sure that I'm very precise about this, right? Because while you did say that Donald Trump is an authoritarian, and I do think that he wants to be an authoritarian, that goes back to what I was saying as far as making sure we know exactly what the words are and what they mean. So give me your best definition of what authoritarianism is.
Well, for me, it's that he expects everybody to just be obedient to what he wants to, of how he wants to run the country. He doesn't necessarily expect people to participate in a democratic exercise. He doesn't really care what other people think. He doesn't really even care what the country wants. He is all about himself. This is what I think. This is what I want. I expect 100% loyalty from my party. And yeah, for me, that is being an authoritarian. He just wants his wishes enforced, and he just expect like 100% loyalty from his people.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's actually a pretty good definition in simplest forms. Yes, authoritarianism is an actual political system which is a centralization of power that reduces the rule of law. There's a separation of power and reduction of democratic voting, where the power is seated at the foot of basically one person. Now, I will say again, Donald Trump would like to be an authoritarian. I will preface and say he is not authoritarian, but perfect. All right, thank you. Give me a second here. Also, I just want to call this out. I saw someone in the chat say, "Hey, can you move the sticker so we can see who's up in the top left-hand corner?" It's me. That's me. It's my backup. That's no worries. It's just my backup. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's see here. Arrow, coming to you. Again, and you said that you normally vote on the left as well, right?
Yes, I voted for Trump in 2024, but as of right now, I am.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember that now. Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to come to you because, again, words have meaning, and it's these words have been weaponized. They are truly boogeyman words, and I'm sure that you've heard people calling people that are on the left communists and socialist, and they said we don't. Trump specifically has said we don't want a communist in power. We don't want a socialist in power, and it's become somewhat of a talking point. My question to you is, Arrow, do you know what either communism or socialism is?
I'm going to be completely honest. I do not know the exact definition of either, but I would say that socialism is that the people own the means of production or something like that. I don't know the exact definition of communism, so I'm not going to say that I do. Yeah.
No. That's fair. That's fair. So let me twist that around then just a little bit more. Why, if you know what socialism is, right? And you gave a pretty decent definition. It's kind of high level. There's more to it, but if you know what socialism is, why do you think that people on the right are often weaponizing that word to make it seem as if it's something that's a negative thing?
Well, I think that the people on the right use that word specifically for their supporters who don't know what that word is.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they say that. So, like, if, for example, the Democrats get in power again, it will be like a whole like rebrand of what the government should be. And like, for example, like we're a capitalist economy, right? Like we're a
Capitalist
capitalist
society.
country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I believe that uh they say socialism make a case to their supporters that if the Democrats get in, it's going to be the economy and everything that has happened until then is will come crashing down. That's just me, though.
Okay. Yeah. No. Listen, I agree. I do think that there is a bit of fear mongering, especially towards those people who may not have a true understanding, and capitalizing on people having a lack of understanding and using those terms. So perfect, Errol. Thank you. Give me a second here. Tyler, coming to you.
Yep.
Tyler, again, a lot of people throw a lot of words around, and my point being, words have meaning. Tyler, you said you normally vote on the left, right?
The right.
The right. I'm sorry, you vote on the right. Tyler, the new buzzword that people keep using when talking about Donald Trump is fascism. They say that Donald Trump's a fascist. My question is, has anyone called you a fascist? And if so, have you stopped has anyone called you a fascist for supporting Donald Trump? And have you stopped to actually figure out what that is?
I would say I have been called a fascist a fair amount of times for voting for Trump this year and in 2020. And I've stopped to kind of look up the definition and think to myself, and I don't see myself as a fascist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself, kind of in that folder, because I've voted for him based on what my family's told me about him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started getting into politics. So I don't think I fall into that specific category.
Okay. All right. And now, and just a kind of a follow-up question, has it been, when people have levied that word at you as far as a fascist, has it been in the context of a conversation, or just by them saying, hey, if you voted for Trump, you're a fascist?
More of the sense of, if you voted for Trump, you're a fascist.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me a second here. T Hood, coming to you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Wonderful. T Hood, you said that you are, I think you said you're
far left.
Far left. Exactly. Far left. Are you a communist?
I think the ideology of communism would be good. Do I ever think that we would ever achieve that? Or I don't ever think we could achieve anything like that. I think there would have to be small sects of people who communal living like choose to do that. But I truly believe that anytime you have people and their personalities, there'll always try to be some hierarchy in a social system, right?
Yeah,
unfortunately, that's kind of how we are as human beings.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I think the idea is something that I would stand on, but in as far as practice, as far as practicality, I think there is a little bit of a issue with implementation. But T Hood, you said that you are far left, and I'm sure that you've heard people levy the word, "Oh, you're a communist." But a lot of times, those people don't know what those words mean. T Hood, have you ever been called a communist? And if so, what did they mean when they called you a communist versus the actual meaning of communism that you just we kind of spoke to?
I've never been called a communist because I don't think that people would really understand. They'd have to really understand me and what my belief systems are to call me that, because I don't support a party that's pushing communism. When Tyler was being called a fascist, I don't think Tyler is the fascist. I think he's supporting a party that is moving our country towards fascism. And so I think that's the problem. And so I think that there aren't any candidates out there that are pushing for total communism. I think they're socialists.
Let me push back
definitely.
on you for a second, because it's not about candidates pushing for communism. Because you're right. There's no candidates pushing for communism, but there are other candidates who fearmonger and say that candidates are pushing for communism, i.e., very simple, very easy, very blatant, right in our face. Donald Trump called Zoran Mamdani a communist, right? When we know for a fact that Zoran Mamdani is a social democrat. He coalesces with people like Bernie Sanders and AOC in the progressive vein of liberalism and the Democratic Party, but he is not a communist. But they've weaponized that and said that he's a communist, and more so, this is something that has been projected by the right. So a lot of times when I talk to people and they talk about like, oh, communist, and the first people that, or the group that they think about is the Chinese Communist Party. T Hood, what's the difference between the Chinese Communist Party and actual communism?
Well, is the Chinese Communist Party, that's more of an ideology of authoritarian rule. That's not a communist country. I mean, it's a communist country, but it's more of authoritarian rule and not true communism. Right? Is that correct?
Yeah, even though it's in the title, it's a dictatorship.
Correct.
It is literally a dictatorship, but I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in as well, because again, people start to point towards the direction of the Communist Party of China and think that just because it has the word communist in it, then the party is actually upholding the belief system of communism. So perfect. Give me a second here. Thank you so much.
I actually think you have to go back to the 50s to see how communists were weaponized, and that term was weaponized. Yeah. Yes, and so
we're going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Die, coming to you. Die. People often talk about socialism, and they conflate socialism with a socialist society, right? They think that advocating for social safety nets is the exact same thing as advocating for socialism, which is not the same. Dia, my question for you is, can you name the benefits of a socialistic society, right, where we can the certain safety nets that people on the left advocate for versus what the true meaning of socialism is, in which I can give that definition if you don't have it, but can you at least name some of the actual socialistic items that we currently have here in the U.S.?
Well, I until the big beautiful bill, health, Obamacare and Medicare and Social Security and our police and our firemen and those are the ones I can think of just offhand.
Absolutely. Yes. A lot of people don't understand that we definitely participate in a socialist society, which currently allows us access to certain things that even if we that are paid for by tax dollars, and everyone has access to it. And the greatest example is, police, right? Everyone is supposed to have access to the police, and you can call the police if you need it, and you're not going to receive a bill for using the police. There are other things that occur and other things that people can take advantage of, but you are absolutely spot on. Thank you so much for that, Di. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Look what the cat drug in. I knew this topic was going to get you over here. Hey, Sean.
I saw the invite and I came in.
Sean, we are breaking down a couple of different things, right? So we're talking about the splinter in the current political movement on both sides of the aisle, right? But the first thing that we're really digging into is the fact that a lot of people throw around a lot of words and they don't actually know what the words mean, right? You know how it goes. But people talk about, authoritarianism. They talk about fascism, they talk about socialism, and they talk about communism. And the words have been bastardized and weaponized by both sides of the political aisle. And people who don't know what these things are, they're just boogeyman words, right? And so, Sean, commiserate Sean, I want to give you the floor. I would just like to, I don't want to limit you just to, communism. I would love to hear your thoughts on not only any of the four or all of the four, and the actual and the ideal of them versus the application of them, and why is it that it seems like both sides of the aisle have been so effective with weaponizing these words and making people fear things that they don't understand.
The four being fascism, capitalism,
authoritarianism, fascism, authoritarianism, socialism, and communism.
Oh, okay. Because America has a 4th grade reading level, but there's a lot there.
It is, right? We're just getting started. Literally, we just started.
When it comes to the well, all right. So I'll say this: the reason as to why socialism and communism, people think that they know what it is because, and this is 100% true, and I can actually prove it with the people who come up here one by one. But this is exactly how America structured it. The reason as to why people get socialism and communism confused is because they associate socialism and communism with Black liberation. The reason as to why people get authoritarianism confused is because they associate that with Black vengeance. And the reason why people get fascism confused is because of this thing is called plausible deniability. And I'm gonna leave it right there for a minute.
You know what? I didn't know that what was happening. I don't know. I didn't understand. Good call. All right. We're going to dig a little bit more into it. And even more so, we're going to actually start to push it forward, right? Because I am someone, I fancy myself to be a democratic socialist, right? I have certain friends, certain people that I love, certain people who name I won't call, who keep trying to push me towards communism, but I'm not there yet. But there has been a absolute split within multiple parties, and it seems like the parties, at least in the political system, are starting to demand more, right? And you see the splinter that's happening, and it's super interesting. On the left, it's very clear, right? With the momentum that Zoran Mandani had in New York, and you see more people advocating as a socialist Democrat. You see Bernie Sanders gaining more popularity than he has in the past. You see AOC gaining more popularity. But even more so, you have people on the left saying, hey, we need to go further left. We need to do more of the things. But you still have those establishment Democrats who are saying, no. We need to stay where we are. We need to hold on to this power. We need to find ways to, quote unquote, meet in the middle, find ways to somehow still support Israel, find ways to somehow send foreign aid to other countries. But then you have those other people saying, no, we need to focus on us. And the funny thing is, over on the right, you kind of got the same thing, right? You have MAGA, the current establishment. The funny thing about MAGA is they started as the outsider party, right? We'll get into the inception soon, but they started as the outsider party, as the Tea Party, and then it kind of developed from there. But then now MAGA is the establishment. And you're seeing people who are saying now, I am not MAGA, not MAGA. I am a Republican. I'm conservative, and I don't support Israel, and I don't support, or I want the Epstein files released. There's a group of people on the right who are now pushing for all of those things and rejecting what the establishment right is holding on to. So I want to get into the splintering off of those two parties, and even more so, where do you guys land currently? And I want to start with Errol. Errol, I would love for you to weigh in, because as of someone who has voted for Donald Trump, and you didn't identify as MAGA, right? So at this moment, what would you say you are when it comes to your political affiliation?
I mean, honestly, I would say that I am a Democrat. And
really,
yeah. I mean, I will say I take value from both sides of the aisle, and I mean actual Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I would say like McCain Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
like, that kind of Republicans, because I don't consider MAGA MAGA even close to what actual Republicans believe. So at this point, I would say that I am a light, not hardcore, but I would say I'm a light Democrat. And
what's funny though?
What's up?
That's like the most accurate depiction of what I think the Republican Party is. The Republican Party, and if I'm going to be honest, there's no daylight for me between people who consider themselves to be Republicans and people who consider themselves to be Democrats, right? That's the super interesting thing to me at this moment, because the Overton window has shifted so far on both sides of the aisle, where you see the more quote unquote extremists starting to pop up, but even more so the people who have the grips of the political parties. The people on the right have been squeezed out, and they have been pushed so far to the fringe that they are falling towards being a Democrat. But at the same time, you see those Democrats are being pushed out as well by people who want more progression on the left. And so it's interesting to see those two middle points kind of connecting. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, Santana, I can speak for myself, and I just want to see if you agree on this. I believe that I can find traditional Republican beliefs respectful. Like, I can maybe even agree with some of them. And but like, and I can understand where they're coming from. That's the thing. But like not even some, the majority of what MAGA believes is, I'll just say it, batshit crazy. And and I don't see like where they're coming from at all. I don't see their common sense. I don't see what they're trying to do. I don't see if they're trying to make how they're trying to make this country better. So, like, for example, I want universal healthcare for everybody. And I see how that can impact people in a good way. But like, for example, when MAGA says, I want like every single immigrant out, like, I don't see where they're trying to like make this country better. Like, I really don't. So like, that's just me. So thank you for allowing me to talk. I don't want to steal the stage for too
You're
long.
fine. You're fine. All right, give me a second. We're gonna keep it pushing because like that was actually something super interesting because I did not expect you to go there yet, but you know what? We're here. All right, perfect. Give me a second. W's in the chat for 73 and still liberal for the $5 super chat to say people confuse communism and socialism because their perception of China and Russia. They call themselves socialists, but we call them commies. Absolutely. That absolutely goes back to the Red Scare, which we will get into it because again, people don't know what it really is. And it was weaponized by the United States because, you know, America and freedom and whatnot. But W's in the chat for the super chat, guys. If anyone would like to support the nightly donation goal, we do have a nightly donation goal of $250. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All the pay links and the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Tyler, coming to you.
Yep.
I know you said that you actually voted on the right more so because of your family, right? And
Correct.
the principles that your family have instilled into you as far as what they should vote for. My question is, Tyler, what is your understanding as far as what you were voting for while being on the right? Like what were those principles, those factors that you were told that you need to vote for?
Yeah, so I was more so told to vote for Trump both times because they've kind of instilled that liberals were these evil people that will just bring you down and they want nothing good for this country. And after starting to also kind of do my own research, but watching like Parker and Dean more recently, I've found out that I have more beliefs on the Democrat side than I do Republican. And so I feel like I should be more on the Democrat side from the start. I feel like I should have voted for them because they just want what I want, you know, for example, free healthcare. And I don't support Israel either. I don't support any of that. I want peace. Just kind of in the world, I want peace for everybody.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because the idea that I think that one thing that I think the Republican Party, or at least the old Republican Party, has done such a great job of is saying that the Republican Party is the party of family values, right? They talk about, you know, being Christians and talk about actually upholding the nuclear family and you know, wanting to have the house and the white picket fence and 2.5 kids and all this other stuff. And it's something that has been portrayed for years, while at the same time shifting towards the idea of, you know, having billionaire backers and tax cuts for the wealthy while, you know, taking money away from farmers. And they've still stood on this idea of like small government and family values while like not exemplifying any of those things. And so it's interesting, Tyler, that you sit here and say like once you actually dug a little bit deeper, you're seeing that like there is a divide, and that's not the things that you are getting with that party. So Tyler,
Yeah,
would you
100%.
consider yourself to be a Republican, or where do you currently stand?
I would see myself as more of leaning into being a Democrat, honestly.
Okay. That's interesting. All right, perfect. Give me a second here. Ice, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Wonderful. Ice, where to tell the people, where do you normally fall on the side of the aisle, left or right?
Yeah, this is all my personal opinion. I'm on the right.
Okay, perfect. Ice, question for you. have you seen the growing divide on the right, where it seems as if the party is starting to have a shift and people are no longer identifying themselves as MAGA, but saying that they are Republicans or conservative versus saying I'm MAGA?
Yeah, there's a divide on the right over I Country and JE. Definitely a divide on the right. I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying, Hawk. I think Ice, you and I've spoken before, right?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Did you crash out last time?
No. I'm John Stone. I'm paranoid. Yep.
Okay. Trying to remember
Santana,
exactly.
hey, can I ask you something, man? You seem like a decent guy. How do you feel about CK? How do you feel about CK?
That's not the topic of conversation. But
Yeah.
let's get back on point. All right. So, question for you, Ice, just to kind of put a bow on this. Where do you think the current right stands? Because you see the divide that's happening with like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And even more so, there's a divide behind the Epstein files, right? We understand that there was a few Republicans that signed on to force the vote for the release of the Epstein files, but it seems like from what the current reporting is, there's about 100 Republicans that are going to vote to release the Epstein files. There had been, as of 24 hours ago, there had been a huge push by Donald Trump and the Trump administration and MAGA as a whole to block the release of the Epstein files, while other Republicans were pushing for it. Where do you fall on that topic with the Epstein files? And even more so, would you consider yourself to be someone that had previously supported Donald Trump and MAGA with not releasing the files, or the Republicans/conservatives with Marjorie Taylor Greene that wanted the files out?
I think the files should be released.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Give me a second here then.
Sure.
T Hood, coming to you. Again, looking at the divide that has started to bubble up on both sides, I think the reason why this has occurred is because both parties have forgotten the quote unquote average man, right? The normal person. You can take a look at either side of the aisle. I just spoke to how the Republican Party has been shifted towards like tax cuts for the ultra wealthy. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the Democratic Party, who used to be considered the party of the working man, the people, and yet they aren't that anymore, right? There is literally a divide within both parties because both parties have started to shift towards their billionaire backers versus focusing on the people. Why do you think that, I'm sorry, not why, but do you think that this common thread that's shared by both of the quote unquote factions that are starting to grow is something that can be used to improve the overall system? Because it seems like both sides have a common goal, and that's taking back the power and giving it to the proletariat instead of having the power coalesce in like a plutocracy.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I don't sit on the upper echelon of our society, right? I'm a working class. I'm a nurse. I'm a veteran. I'm all the things. I'm a union activist. I support all of our nurses in our union. So I see dividing coming from the fact that the people their voices can't be heard to the decision maker people. Like I guess it's such a hard question, because when I look at the Democratic Party and how I see they're not going extreme enough to help the people. I don't think that they are pushing hard enough they're staying safe so they can be elected in the government. And when you look at people like Zoran Mandani, he has pushed that envelope to the place where it needed to go to really have the people be heard, and what people want. The Republican Party will always take care of it. The people who are the working class in the Republican Party always feel like they are going to get a piece of that pie. They will never get a piece of that pie. And the people who are in the Republican Party are not working for the working class. So at least in the Democratic element, the Democratic Party, I don't know wealthy billionaires. I don't sit with those people, but I would assume that we're all stating, like, I will pay my fair share to help others. I will pay my taxes to help others. And I think that's where the divide might come.
I'm going to push back on you. And so this is something that I've talked about before, and this is something that I'm going to double down on, right? And this is why I'm bringing this up. And for anyone that is listening right now and you consider yourself a Republican, you consider yourself MAGA, you consider yourself a Democrat, you consider yourself a leftist, I don't care which side of the aisle that you consider yourself. If you're not ultra wealthy, if you're not the top 1%, if you are not someone who is hobsnobbing with the most rich and famous, you're just a sucker to them. They don't care about your political affiliation. That's the point, because there's billionaires on both sides of the aisle, and regardless of which party is in power, those billionaires, they're going to be fine. Those billionaires, no matter what policy is passed, they're going to be fine. Those billionaires during the government shutdown, they weren't worrying about SNAP benefits. They could say, "Oh, I'm a Democrat. I think people should have SNAP benefits." They could be a Republican and say, "Yeah, you know what? We need to cut SNAP benefits." But they weren't impacted by it. No matter what happens with this current structure that we have, until we remove the power from the 1% and give it back to the people, it's always going to be that way. Give me a second, T Hood. Give me a second.
I agree. Okay.
Sean, I was going to save you for last, but now I want to come to you anyway. So I'm coming to you. Sean?
I'm here.
All the power to all the people instead of Ralph. What the fuck did Ralph do? And what does it mean to actually take the power away from like the 1% and really reestablish that power within the proletariat?
It means abandoning capitalism and doing an armed revolution to take away the means of production from people who own the means of production within capitalism, which is we call it the owning class, the bourgeoisie, if you will. Ralph is it's kind of a derogatory name for anyone who is against revolutionary action, whether that be a working class person who's a class traitor, whether that be the police, whether that be the bourgeois. That's just a name for Ralph.
I thought Ralph was an actual. I used to think, man, Ralph really pissed Solid off because he says that every time. I legitimately thought Ralph was a real person.
It's a no, it's just a name. It's like a derogatory term.
Okay. The more you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I got another one for you too, though.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, you first.
No. Go ahead. I'm not gonna finish my question. No, because my thing is gonna lead to something else. Go ahead though.
Well, mine okay. It's kind of in the same vein. It's more so a follow-up from what you just said. Because we were going to get to like the quote unquote extremists, right? And there is an understanding of like extremists on both sides of the aisle, or classified as that. Now, there's an interesting dynamic when you talk about like the extremists on the right with the white nationalists and this new movement of groypers, which the fuck? Sorry, this is late nights. They're so weird. Anyway,
it's a fairly old movement, but people are just now hearing about it. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, it's becoming more popular, more mainstream. That's it. But on the left has what they consider to be their extremists as well, right? And more so in the sense of anarchists, right?
Oh, okay.
And not only anarchists, but accelerationists to be more specific, right?
Okay. So,
with that being said, you kind of just touched on it. While I agree, and this is the problem that I've always had, and I want to kind of dig into this while we have an opportunity now. I agree. We need that shift. But and pardon my ignorance, and I know I need to educate myself more on this, but I don't fully understand how we get there without harming marginalized people to a higher level than anything else. So, Sean, help me with that.
How are marginalized people being protected under these systems?
I know that one. I know.
Would you rather be, this is a real question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be graped or unalived?
Unalived.
Okay. So if the act of graping is happening to you, and your own personal autonomy is being violated, and what is one of the worst ways human possible, and someone were to go, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and end it for him, and another person goes, no, you can't do that because that would hurt him. You understand this, like within this system, it is the like equivalent for marginalized people to that sort of thing happening, pretending as if like revolution won't end in the liberation of marginalized people, is just to allow the continued graping of marginalized people.
That makes sense. This is what I want to do then, because you and I still have to talk more, because it's something it's been rattling around in my head, but I want to bring it back closer to where we were. I don't think you and I have had an opportunity. I know where you stand as far as like, the voting system and structure and all this other stuff, but in a silo, I don't think you and I have had the opportunity to talk about your thoughts about Zoran Mandani. I would love to hear what you think about Zoran Mandani, and even more so, is pushing towards socialism better than where we are? Because I mean, I understand the need for revolution, but not everyone has the stomach for revolution. So is it something where getting towards socialism to get to, ultimate revolution, is that like a gateway? Or just what are your thoughts on Mandani and like the whole socialist democrat type system?
In 1915, there was a letter sent to I believe it's Chancellor of Germany, Austria. And they were like, hey, things are happening after 1905. Things have been happening in our country. It was Russia. It was a letter from at the time, the Communist Party wasn't called the Bolshevik Party. Lenin created that name. They were like, a lot of things have been happening in our country since 1905. We might not be as stable as we once were, yada, yada. And this is 1915, 10 years after 1905. 1905, a massacre happened. The King's Army saw a bunch of protesters and unalived 5 of them for absolutely no reason other than they were standing there. They unalived like a priest of one of their mega churches, essentially. Big name. So it caused like a huge ruckus in 1905. 1915, a bunch of stuff happened. And as soon as the letter was sent, the powers that be said, hey, let's send this dude Lenin back to Russia to cause some turmoil so we can have, one less person or at least one less country that we'll have to fight in World War I, because we're in the midst of a war and we're about to start fighting on 2 fronts. So they did it. They sent Lenin back to Russia. And in Russia, Lenin was there and he had seen the things that had happened. He had seen like the changes that had taken place. The king at the time had given away power. For the most part, there was like a liberal democracy government, and the people were celebrating. And when Lenin got there, they were like, Lenin, this is so great. Do you see what's happening? We've done it. We've created like equal power for the working class. And Lenin was like, oh, that's great. That's awesome. And it's like, so like, how many government subsidies do you get? And they were like, government subsidies? It's like, all right, let me ask you a different question. How many of y'all have land that you can till? And they were like, land? He's like, all right, cool. Let me ask you a different question. How many workers' unions do you have? They were like, workers' unions? He's like, you know what? I'll ask you a totally different question. They were like, how many of y'all, like working class people, have like moved up and gone into the party of the provisional government so far? And they were like, provisional government? And he was just like, so y'all don't have union representation, you don't have land, you don't have government subsidies, you don't. He was like, let me ask y'all this: spell subsidy. And they were just like, spell? And he was like, y'all can't read? He was like, look, wait, so what you're telling me right now is that you've created worker ownership, but you don't have land, you don't have a house, you don't have government subsidies, you can't read, so you don't even know that you don't have these things, and you don't even have union representation at your jobs. And none of you are within the provisional government. This is terrible. Get rid of this right now. Throw it away. And so they did. Zoran Mamdani is that provisional government.
Do you feel like the hope that he gives? Damn it, guys! Excuse me. You already answered the question. I can't even give you that.
The hope that he gives is false hope.
You've already answered the question. You've already given the answer.
It's just pacification. Everything that people do within an electoral system, especially is within a bourgeois, especially electoral system, is pacification. This idea that he's going to bring hope and change, and he's gonna change New York City into this haven. He's gonna, put the foot down, and Democrats are gonna go this way. That's false hope. That's just literally them throwing you a bone and being like, yeah, bruh, here, fine. Since y'all want something, here you go. Like that's literally it.
Hey, really quick, because I'm gonna break the fourth wall for a second. What the fuck? Dude, dang it. I am all over the place. Sorry. There's this thing I see here. It says AI, political extreme debate, join discussion. And I can see it, but I can't see it from my backup. And I'm willing to bet no one else in the chat can see it. It just came up like one of the things that's scrolling in the chat. Can anyone else see that? This is new, like TikTok AI.
Wait, what did it say? Say it again.
It said
I can't see it.
It said political extreme. Hold on. Political extreme debate. Join discussion, and it's the AI. It says AI political extreme debate. Join the discussion, and I'm assuming it's like routing people here for the point of like political debates.
I don't see that.
That's wild. Again, just broke the fourth wall. I can see it. But I can't see it from like my backup. So that's why. I know it's just they're literally saying it's the AI to draw other people in for the conversation. It's just sorry. Anyway, Sean, that's why I don't debate you. So you just ruined the conversation. Dang it, Sean.
No, I mean, it's. I will say this because a lot of people are upset about this, and that's cool with me. I don't necessarily care.
I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow, but like it made sense as I sat here and listened to you. Like even again, the follow up that I had, you like answered in, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Can I push back on that just for a second? Can I just ask a question about Zoran Mamdani?
Sure.
If you continue to do the status quo with what you're doing in the government, then there we stand. But if you have somebody that's actually bringing the thought of change, won't that attract for change? I mean, I hear what you're saying, Sean, that it would be a tough pill to swallow. It's just hope, and what does that bring? But I think actually it can do a lot. It's better than doing nothing, correct?
It's doing nothing. I ask you a question. When you talk about both sides, like a lot of things have been said today about both sides of the aisle, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're in aisle 3 and I'm in aisle 2, right? Okay. Who's getting all the money?
Nobody, because we're in aisle 3 and aisle 2.
The store is getting the money.
Okay. Okay, help me bring that back to Zoran.
I was about to say, Sean, you can't give everyone analogies.
No, it's just how that works. Like if you're talking about like, look, let me ask you this. This is a question that I ask for people, that I ask liberals all the time. Name something substantial and sustainable that electoralism has done for marginalized people.
Well, not speaking as a person that's coming from a marginalized community, you're
a woman, aren't you?
I am a woman, but
it's marginalized.
I believe that we've come a long way with women with their voices. Well, I mean, I say that and then I take that back a bit too, but I don't know. I wish I don't know. I don't have this answer for that question, I guess, right now.
It's kind of a trick question because there isn't anything. There's literally nothing. Like even the person who says ACA and DEI, ACA is not like affordable, one, and DEI. Do you want to get into
No.
Okay.
No.
Right,
Stop abusing my people. Dang it. For those
I will ask you this. Somebody asked me, they were like, one of the biggest things I hear about DEI when I'm debating people, especially people on the right, and they go, well, DEI only helps white women. And I'm just like, I mean, not only, but like 90%. Yeah, absolutely. And they were just like, so isn't it racist? And I was like, the country is racist, Brody. Like, what are you talking about? That's my point.
Yeah. A duck is a duck. For those that don't know, I've been on record. For people who know, when I'm not hosting late nights, I'm sparring and I'm debating. And I've said this time and time again. There's only 3 people on this entire app that I would never debate. Never, ever, ever. I would just take the L and, take my ball and go home. I'm not even trying. Not even trying. And that's Kobe, Athena. Love Kobe, love Athena. Adorna. Love some Adorna. And Sean. You see? It's not just me. Whatever. Sean, stop.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Because this is what I wanted to ask you before. You said before Democrats were the party of the working class. When was that?
It was portrayed as the party of the work. Don't do that.
No.
Portrayed as the party of the working class.
I got a point. I promise you, I got a point. But when was that?
I want to say like 1980s. Pretty much after like the Civil Rights Act was passed and the portrayal of like equality and working society and all this other stuff.
Oh, when they were funneling illegal substances into our neighborhood. You know what?
Yes, that's exactly when it was, Sean. Darn it. All right, we're gonna reset because Sean is not gonna break my my topic.
I'm cool. I ain't even said nothing wrong. I ain't said nothing bad.
Whatever.
I'm chilling. I'm over here chilling.
All right, guys. We're gonna keep it moving around. If you don't mind, let's go ahead and tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Also, can we knock out the high bears? And we still have $250 left in the nightly donation goal. There's 650 people hanging out here. If 250 people send $1, we can close out the nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. I was about to move on, but it looks like Lance is pushing back. Lance, I saw what you said in the chat. I saw the ACA and the DEI thing, but it also, you just said, oh, heck no. Did you want to say something specifically?
No, I was just curious. Is Sean a Panther? Is that where we're headed?
Again?
I said, is Sean a Panther?
A Black Panther?
Yeah, because he was talking about the crack in the 80s. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Okay, and
ma'am.
I'm going to drop you down because you can't say the name of D-Rugs on TikTok Live. You literally know that.
You got to abbreviate them, you know.
I have a question, Santana, if I can ask, or do you want to get back to it?
Sure, we're here. Yeah, let's go
I'm
do
so
it. We're
sorry.
already here. No, you're good. We're already here. Go ahead.
And my question for you is that what is your opinion about the Electoral College?
It needs to be abolished. The Electoral College gives disproportionate representation. And the fact that we aren't dealing with like ranked choice voting makes no sense to me, because why should like 7 states actually control the election every year? Like that doesn't make sense. Why does my vote, since I'm in a quote unquote blue state in Washington state, my vote really doesn't matter. But then when I lived in South Carolina, a red state, my vote didn't count. So the entire Electoral College is trash, needs to be abolished.
Would you say that gives a advantage to Republicans?
Yeah. I love to make this analogy. People used to claim that, like people say, oh, Kamala Harris is a DEI candidate. Yeah, I mean, cool. Donald Trump was literally what they consider to be a quote unquote DEI president because he lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton. And
yes,
it was only because of the representation due to the Electoral College that he became the president of the United States. So like there's a lot to it, but again, it doesn't give proportional representation, and it's screwed over the country in multiple ways.
Would you say that we should just go by popular vote and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should do ranked choice voting. Like I love the idea of ranked choice voting. I think that's the best way, and plus it opens up the doors to additional political parties, right? And it's more of a true representation of our society versus just like having this premise of like a 2-party system. Like this 2-party system premise is not a real thing, and even like that's the point of this whole conversation that we're having right now. because even within this two-party system, I mean, like on the left, there's always been an idea that there's multiple factions within that same party, but now you're starting to see the same thing happen on the right. And so, like, I think it's something that's needed.
Gotcha. That's what I want to ask. I'll go back on mute.
Okay. All right. Give me a second. Hold on. W's in the chat for L Valentine for the $5 A. I don't know what country. I always say I need to get like a chart to tell me what countries. As a matter of Australian. Never mind. I see it. It said Santana, can any friendly join late nights? I'm Australian, but I have opinions. You can on Wednesday. I've already invited a Canadian back on Wednesday. So yes, if you're international and you want to get in on this topic, Wednesday, I'll let Wednesday, I will let the international folks join the conversation. So if you are anywhere except in the US and you want to actually join in on the conversation, Wednesday will be your night. So W's in the chat for you for that. Also, W's in the chat for, this is what I started for Laud over on the YouTube, who sent $1.99 YouTube super chat to say, hey, Sean, your YouTube channel or link doesn't exist. Sean, what's going on with your YouTube link? The people on the YouTubes are trying to find you.
My YouTube, I haven't done YouTube in a minute, but my YouTube link doesn't work. Oh, you know what?
Like people on YouTube, like they really only mess with YouTube, and so
it might be because when I put the link in my link tree, I had like the generic YouTube name. Hold up, let me check. Give me a second.
I'm telling you, like people on YouTube, they hear certain people and they want to hear them on YouTube. So W's in the chat for that. Also, W's in the chat for Bethany, who sent a $3.33 donation toward the nightly goal. I'm gonna round that up to 4 because I'm not doing math with the change, but I appreciate the 333. And says for funding education. Thank you so much for that, guys. That means we only have $246 left in our nightly donation goal. So if anyone else would like to support the live, 246 people send $1. We can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. Di, I'm coming back to you to kind of re-center where we are. Di,
okay.
Why do you think the establishment Democrats are fighting the popularity of Zoran Mandani so hard?
Oh gosh, that's a heck of a question. I think they've been in power for a really long time, and they're afraid of fresh blood, maybe. It really bothered me that they wouldn't endorse him. It really bothered me a lot, but Bernie did, right? And AOC did.
Yeah. You do see though, there was an actual, the interesting thing about that, right? So yes, Bernie Sanders and AOC did support Zoran Mandani, but the establishment Democrats didn't, right? And whether you talk about Chuck Schumer or you talk about how long it took for Hakeem Jeffries to get on board, or Barack Obama, or like Hillary Clinton, the people that you look at as the establishment Democrats literally pushed off the popularity of Zoran Mandani, and they didn't want him to succeed. And the interesting thing about Zoran's run is that not only did he have to go against like the Republican Party, but he had to go against the establishment as far as the Democratic Party. Both sides of the establishment did not want him to succeed. Why do you think that is?
It's got me totally. I think that there's a lot of old men who are uncomfortable with passing the baton.
Okay.
And I think that's what's really needs for change in our country. I really think that we need fresh blood, and I've heard the argument, that, oh well, I've got the seat on this committee, and if we put new blood in, we'll lose that seat. And I just don't think that they're flexible enough. They're just old, and they're maybe a little bit complacent,
Yeah, no. I think for sure that there's a lot of those establishment political figures that have been in power forever, and any type of change is going to actually disrupt the status quo and take said power and money away from them. And I think that's the problem.
And it's not just that. It's gosh, what is the APAC money? A lot of them take APAC money, and Mondani was going, no, I'm not gonna take any PAC money, and I think some of them have been bought by.
They absolutely have.
Yeah.
Both sides of the establishment, which leads to something that I'm going to talk about when we get there, but within American First, like the one sentiment that it seems to be growing on both sides of the aisle is that people on the left and people on the right have no interest in supporting Israel. Now, I think there's different reasons why people on the right versus people on the left don't want Israel supported anymore, but it is at least an intersection where people are saying they don't want our political figures supporting Israel. But perfect. Give me a second here. Voice coming to you. Lance, you can say that, but you can't even get back up here because you don't know how to use TikTok language. You literally got up here for 2 seconds and immediately crashed. And this is not your first TikTok live. So I guess just whine and cry from the chat. Sorry, Voice. Why do you think the actual establishment is so afraid of Zoran Mondani?
Because I think they see Zoran as like the new Bernie class. I think that the reason that both Democrats and Republicans were against them is because they also see, it's for the same reason they didn't want Bernie to win, right? They see him as a threat to the establishment, because I think it reminds them of their corruption. It reminds them of their greed. It reminds them that there is another way to get voted into office, and not necessarily, just by taking donor money. I think that Zoran is seen as a change candidate, and I'm actually I'm afraid to debate this the commissioner I think he's called.
I'm not gonna let her do that again. We're not. See, that was my fault. I set us up. I knew what I was doing when I said it, and I shouldn't have did it, but I did it anyway. So I blame myself. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think Zoran just exposes a lot of the weaknesses that the Democrats have. Big donors obviously is one of them. And I also think that in this moment in time, because we have a president and
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I don't know what's happening, but there's like a loud squeaky sound when you're speaking. It just started maybe about 10 seconds ago. Yeah, see, now the chat's hearing it. Can you say something else again?
Hello everybody. Can everybody hear me right?
Okay, it's gone now. It was like really loud squeak. It was weird. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. What I was saying is that I think one of the main reasons that the Democratic Party right now is against Zoran is because they see this Trump presidency as a golden opportunity to move the party a little bit to the right, right? Because I mean, the right has gone so extremely, to the far right, and we saw it with Kamala Harris, during the presidential elections. Look, I think that she was 100% like in every single way better than Trump, but she was basically trying to like bridge that gap between Democrats and Republicans. I mean, we saw her, instead of like embracing the Bernie wing of the party, instead of going out there and trying to get progressives, she was hanging out with, with the Cheneys. She was hanging out with other people that really did not bring anything good to the campaign, therefore losing a lot of the voting base that she could have, gotten a chance to actually bring in. And so I think that the Democrats have been trying to kind of like move, like become almost like a light GOP, like Republican light, because they really, I never thought that the Democrats actually want to do something for the people, like 100%. They want to give us like these little spoons of like medicine to make us think that we're gonna get better, but they never actually end up doing something substantial. And right now, with the president that we have, they see it as an opportunity to move the party a little bit to the right, so that they don't actually have to do anything of what the base actually expects them to do. And so that's my opinion. This is why they don't like Zoran Mondani.
Okay. All right, give me a second here. W's in the chat for Kimberly. Kimberly sent a $10 donation towards the nightly donation goal. Said, "You and Sean teach me more than all of my schooling put together did. Love y'all. Love you more, Kimberly." I don't know if it's me. Definitely Sean. And speaking of Sean, guys, for anyone that's asking, I saw Sean has officially fixed her YouTube link. So G to G there. So if you want to find Sean's YouTube, it's in the link tree in the bio. So that's fixed. And guys, again, W's in the chat for Kimberly. That means we only have $236 left in our nightly donation goal. If anyone would like to add to the nightly donation goal, we can definitely hit that and close it out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. We have two new people on the panel. I want to introduce the two new people. First and foremost, I want to go to T Young. T Young, how are you? T Young, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute. T Young going once. T Young going twice. Bethany, how are you?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Wonderful. Bethany, are you someone that normally votes on the left or the right?
Definitely the left.
Okay. And Bethany, I guess one thing that I'll ask you just to start. Would you consider Donald Trump to be a fascist?
Oh yeah.
Why?
100%. Well, the mass deportations, I believe, is very unconstitutional. I would say his trying to take away trans rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, so much more. Do you want me to go on?
No, actually, I want you to stop right there. Okay, perfect. Now you said you think that he is a fascist, and you told me about the things that he's doing, and while I definitely agree that he is a fascist, and I agree with the things, the question I now have for you is, what is fascism?
For me, I think fascism is basically acting as if you don't have to follow rules, basing your own ideology on your own beliefs instead of what the Constitution says, basically, right?
Yeah, no. So that's not fascism, but I get what you're saying. So the reason why I went through that is to actually highlight a point that we started off with the beginning of the actual topic is words have meanings, and I highlight that because people throw around certain words like authoritarianism, like fascism, like socialism, like communism, and while I agree that he's a fascist because he meets all 14 tenets and the 9 principles, and he's a far-right authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political figure, you know, all the other things. I think it's really important that we understand, right, what these things are, and we be able to clearly identify them, so we're not misrepresenting what these people are or what they are or are not doing. But more than anything, we equip ourselves with the knowledge to be able to like fully explain what's happening. So I agree, but for different reasons. Perfect. Give me a second here, Bethany. We're gonna come back to you. I wanna jump over to Tyler for a second, because Tyler, I'm gonna swap you out here in just a moment. But Tyler, question I have for you, right? It seems like you are definitely a part of the new wave of literally the people that we're talking about, right? The new Republicans, where you are further left than you are right. But I guess the question I have for you is talking about how do we get here? Do you know the history? I know you're a bit younger and you voted for the right based off of your family saying like, hey, you know, like vote for the Republicans. But this isn't the Republican Party. Like this isn't your grandpa's Republican Party. Do you know where MAGA first started?
At the top of my head, I do not.
Okay. You know anything about the Tea Party?
Little bit, but not a lot about it. I'm still kind of new with everything.
Okay. All right. The point that I'm getting to with this is that once upon a time, MAGA was the fringe part of the group, which was the Tea Party. The Tea Party within the Republican Party, the whole "don't tread on me" group, right? The actual small government, get rid of deep state, like all this other stuff. And then the Tea Party rolled over into this new iteration of MAGA, and then MAGA rolled over into this new iteration of the establishment Republicans. It's all been a whole thing. I guess the point that I want to get to, and I want to hear your thoughts on before I swap you out, Tyler, is knowing where you are now as far as your political understanding and who you voted for in the past. What is something that you would like to see as far as a shift in the country where no matter what the political affiliation is, it's something that benefits people?
I would definitely say I'd like to see universal health care for everybody. I don't think we should be paying excessive amounts going into the hospital, because I know especially with people when they have babies and babies being born, I know that those hospital bills are crazy expensive, and I feel like we should be able to have that to where it's a lot cheaper per se. And then also with, I'd be like groceries, how I've seen a stupid amount of groceries go up in prices throughout ever since Trump did come in. And I feel like I would like to see that drop to very affordable. Also with benefits, I feel like we should have affordable benefits as well.
Yeah. Okay. You know, it's funny that you said all that, because again, that's something that I think that people on the left and the right both can agree on, right? It's the fact that people are looking for a better way forward, a better life. And you talk about like the idea behind the splintering off of both groups. It's literally because of that, because people have made the decision that like, hey, what's happening right now, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And that's going to lead us to even more. But Tyler, thank you so much for coming up. I'm going to swap you out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also, guys, Debbie's in the chat for Sarah. Sarah added $1 towards the nightly donation goal, said establishment Dems don't want to be held accountable for making the kind of change Mamdani promised it promises constituents. I agree. It's a lot easier to stay where you are and versus actually changing. And so since it's easier for them to do that, and I was listening to Sean and Solid the other day, and they use a wonderful wrestling analogy. And Sean, hopefully we can loop back around that. And like, I don't know if you want to run the analogy that Solid gave when talking about, the heels and the face. But it was a wonderful analogy about why, like, the Democratic Party is okay with losing, and even more so, like, why the change doesn't occur. But we'll get into that shortly. But then also, W's in the chat for who is Foski? For the $10 donation towards the nightly donation goal, saying, thanks for your awesome live streams on TikTok. Definitely my top live to watch lately. That makes me happy. Thank you so much for that $10 donation. You're awesome. You are absolutely awesome, guys. That means we only have $225 left in nightly donation goal. We can definitely knock that out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. 225 people send $1. We can close that out. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. Noah, how are you?
Well, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Noah, you fancy yourself a communist?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Noah, I kind of asked Sean this, but I'm gonna pass it to you, and I want to know, why is no, better yet, when did the idea of communism being such a bad thing come about, and how has that continued to be weaponized as of today?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the specter of communism has been a thing for a long time. I mean, we had like McCarthyism. It's sort of like at the roots of our country. Yeah, I think it reminds me of what you opened up this discussion with, which is the first prompt about words have meaning. But I feel like even today, in the way that we do discourse around communism, I feel like the way that it's articulated is not that effective. Like specifically the dictionary definition that people like to provide of communism, the stateless, moneyless, classless society, none of that is wrong. Like Marx implies that the state would become obsolete under communism. But I think it leads to people having a lot of misunderstandings on like, has communism actually happened? Has it not happened? And communism is a process, right? Which socialism is a part of. And so people like to make that distinction, which doesn't really make sense to me.
It's a prelude, right?
Absolutely, right? But
also, Sean said, what's Marxism? I mean, not Marxism, McCarthyism.
Ooh, I'm gonna let Sean get into that, because I wanted to just say something real quick. Just going back on what I was saying, like, if socialism entails like seizing the means of production, that process, like, it's not like the means of production will be seized and then there's going to be no need for some type of repressive apparatus and everyone will like just live in harmony. And so this idea that like a state is incompatible with like Marxism or communism isn't entirely true, because the state would be necessary in terms of like repressing the bourgeoisie post seizing the means of production, at least as far as
I didn't realize that.
That's like a Marxist-Leninist approach to communism.
Sean, is that
Sean could correct me if I'm
accurate?
incorrect.
My fault. I missed the last part.
Said the state would still exist to oppress the bourgeois. I can't say the word. The fancy people.
The bourgeois class.
Yeah, bourgeoisie.
In the transition to communism, like that's Marx's sort of telos.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah, that's true.
I didn't realize that.
I mean, you would like the state's idea of existence is to, under a Marxist lens, is to protect the revolution, and the bourgeois are the main perpetrators of like the reason as to why revolutions get turned on.
Exactly. And I was thinking, I brought that up because y'all were also talking about authoritarianism. And authoritarianism, at least in the modern era, I think is very deeply misunderstood. Because you brought up China, and I'm not like the hugest China fan or anything. I think they move weird in certain ways, but like there are democratic institutions in China, and like the people actually have pretty frequent like political participation. And so I think people have this sort of distorted mythical idea of authoritarianism.
No, let me stop you for a second. Lance, don't run just because you, not us sitting here tricking Lance into actually learning something. And now he's like, is this a democratic chat? I'm out of here. No, it's just an intelligent chat. And Lance, don't be afraid of actually learning something. Like not you running because you're actually realizing that you're not in your safe space. That is wild. He was literally running because he realized he's not in his safe space. I'm sorry, Noah. Go ahead. I just had to call that out.
Oh, no, you good. But no, yeah. So authoritarian, there are fascists who are authoritarian and obviously bad. I'm not like necessarily like pro-authoritarianism, but it's not exclusively a right-wing ideology. And it's also something that is sort of like a Western dog whistle. I was actually just looking this thing up because I heard somebody bring it up in some other conversation. There's like this thing called the Democracy Index. And it's quite ironic because it's like this map that shows like the entire world and the countries in it or whatever, and color grades it by like how democratic the country is. And if you look at the map, it's essentially a map of the West or like the Occident and the Orient, right? Like the West and the global South. And the West is deemed as democratic, and basically everywhere in the global South is deemed to be like failing the democracy index on whatever metrics they're using. And this is something that the West kind of manufactures to like legitimize regime change that we do and legitimize Western imperialism. And so authoritarian is often a term that's kind of levied oftentimes like haphazardly and improperly at like communist nations or places that are moving towards communism to legitimize Western intervention and regime change.
Yeah, well, because we got to preach the greatness of the West and capitalism and all that good stuff. All right, one second. Mel and Thor, how are you? Mel and Thor, you're a teacup. You got to come back in. Got to come back in so we can hear you. There we go. Mel and Thor, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine, man. I'm just rolling around here in the bed listening to you, man, and I don't know, I must have touched the screen or something. I wasn't trying.
Oh, you didn't know you were up here.
No, I was just listening and fumbling around in the bed.
Okay, well, tell us what Noah just said about like the bourgeoisie or and like all the other words that he said.
I didn't hear it.
See, you didn't know you were gonna get a pop quiz. You didn't want even paying attention.
And I'm in the bed. I'm
All right.
in and out.
I'm gonna drop you down. I appreciate you.
Have a good one, man.
You as well. Let's see here. D Leon, how are you?
Hey, I'm sorry. I was typing, so I'm good. How are you, man? Thanks
Wonderful.
for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely,
very good.
absolutely.
I just joined, but very good conversation. Very, very intellectual. Very, very stimulating, actually.
Yeah, no, we're getting into it. Question for you: where do you normally fall with your political vote? Is it somewhere on the left or the right?
I would say somewhere in the left. I used to be right, more towards the right. I'm Latino Mexican, so we have a lot of conservative values. But if you follow what's going on around the world, if you see how the middle class is getting smaller, how corporations getting richer. I don't know if you saw last week, Elon Musk had his package approved. Exactly, right. So that's insane. Given that some people can't even afford the basics here in the U.S., which is supposed to be, the most wealthy country in the world, the most free, the most democratic. I like Noah. He was talking about the democracy index. I've actually looked at that thing, and I think I agree with him and all the points he was making. It's definitely, to me, all that kind of stuff is propaganda.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm gonna go too far. I have a very pointed question for you.
Okay.
So this is an interesting dynamic because you said you used to be right, now you kind of fall left. But I think you fall kind of in that middle class where a lot of people are actually starting to splinter off from the sections in their group because there's a couple of things that are really at the core of like shared information, right? And that kind of leans into the next topic as far as America First, right? And the phrasing America First has been like pretty much stolen by certain extremists at this point. And I know MAGA tried to say, oh, we're America first, but there's a couple of things that I think we can truly agree on, like what America First is. And the one thing that it's not is kind of what you just said. It's not having the ultra wealthy actually having all the power, but it is taking care of Americans and the things that Americans need first before we look to do all the other things. So my question is for you, what is a value that you think that you hold to that was something that you wanted while voting on the right, which is still something that you want now while voting on the left?
I would like to see people getting taken care of. I think I'm of the idea, I'm of the belief that if we incorporate humanism, if we advocate for the people, for making America first, like you said, it's not about the millionaires, it's not about the billionaires, it's about all of the people that need to be taken care of, the middle class, the lower class. I think there was a point in my life where I recognized that, I actually worked in the U.S. Senate for a Republican senator. And it was very eye-opening. The things that people say here, like, hey, people are not really racist. Oh yes, they are. Oh yes, you would be surprised about what people say when it's in a closed door setting. There was times where I would have to talk to constituents, and the stuff that you get calls from, and it's just insane. So that opened my eyes to a lot of the things that go on behind doors. Yeah, I was actually fortunate enough to see those things, because I think a lot of Mexicans, we have very conservative values. We value family, we value marriage, things like that. A lot of people are not for abortion, things like that.
Stop right there. Stop right there for 1 second. When did you notice? Because this is something I was talking about earlier. When did you notice that the Republican Party, who still preaches the idea of like having those family values and things like that, when did you notice that they actually shifted away from that?
Oh, when Obama got elected, it was right then. I don't know if you remember, the Tea Party was formed with
we were just talking about the Tea Party.
Yes, and so I was actually working there in the Senate. Right now, I mean, I have a degree in political science, but right now I also hold degrees in civil engineering. I actually work as an engineer now. So that was a while ago. I was there at Obama's what is that? The State of the Union, one of the State of the Union events. So that was awesome. But it was actually when the Tea Party was formed that you started to see a shift in the Heritage Foundation, who there were the rhetoric kind of started to very ramp up exponentially. It was a shift in mindset. It was a shift in what the senators were saying, who they were talking to. So yeah, definitely after Obama, I think that was that was the catalyst that sort of threw us over the edge. And I recognized that if being to the right, to the center. I recognize if I didn't move to the left and started opening my eyes, I recognize that a lot of us brown people would be out of a country. They actually, if you know who the Heritage Foundation is, they don't want us here. They don't want you here. They don't want me here. They want to take away my citizenship. They're willing to do a lot of things. They want to go back to the First Republic.
Yeah, no, listen, not only that, and I gotta when I finish my live, I have to make this video. But I'll give everyone a bit of a spoiler. We all know Project 2025. The video I'm gonna drop tomorrow is gonna talk about the Phoenix Declaration. And if you don't know what the Phoenix Declaration is, it's Project 2025 for schools. And it's brought to you by the Heritage Foundation.
Oh yeah. Oh my! I've been to the building. It's in DC.
Yeah.
I mean,
hold on. No. I don't want you to talk about it because I'm putting out a video about that.
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna do this really quick, Sean. I'm gonna give it to you because you have Supermod. Yeah, you have Supermod on this account too. Yeah, because this is the main account. I don't know why I thought we were on the backup. Sean, can you hold the panel for just a moment for me? I would love to get into the America First topic, but even more so, I would love to hear the thoughts of people as far as why there is such a there seems to be a growing divide, and not a growing divide, but there's a clear divide in both political parties as far as like wanting things to be done for everyday Americans versus other people or other countries. And the biggest one that I can call out right now is the actual I don't fuck you ready for that? Freak it. I'll say it. The disdain for Israel that's coming from both parties. Sean, can you hold the panel and have the conversation about why that's something that both the left and right are starting to agree on as far as like pulling support for Israel, but the difference as far as why people on the right are trying to highlight the removal of support for Israel versus the quote unquote people on the left?
Yeah, we can do that.
And do it like me, not you, because I know what you would say, but like do it like me, and I'll be right back.
Wait, who you want to go to first? Do you have anyone in mind you want to go to first?
You know what? Tis hasn't gotten to speak yet, but your call.
Has Tess been introduced? Tess, did you introduce yourself?
No, not yet.
To the panel?
I'm not yet, sorry. And I'm sorry I have to talk a little low because my family all went to bed a little bit ago. It's 12:30 where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm 42, Texas. I voted Kamala in the last election.
Okay. Did you hear Santana's question?
Whew. Yeah. Can you kind of expand on that just a little bit for me so I can answer proper?
Yeah. So there is as much of a divide as there is between the quote unquote left and right. There has been I guess a common ground in defunding Israel. The differences, he wants to talk about the differences between the two, but first he wants to talk about and ask why people believe that that's a common ground.
So I think the common ground is more of a divide on sympathy and greed. And I think maybe sympathy is a wrong word, just humanity. Humanity and greed. I think there's a very strong grasp with greed on the right, and a very strong grasp with humanity on the left. The humanity portion doesn't want to see the Israeli government. I mean, that's who is the problem, is the state of Israel. It's not the people. I think the people, the American people, don't want to see continual killing allowed
Unaliving.
by the Israeli, I'm sorry, unaliving, allowed by the Israeli government. Whereas on the right side, there's a lot of money transacted. And you've got a lot of handshakes and deals being made. And it hasn't worked out as well for us as we'd hoped. The right side, anyway. It's not gotten us as much as we think we deserve on the right side. And I'm not saying I'm right. Last time I was up here, I said I was independent, and I still am. But on the right side, I just don't think it's working out as well for them. And so both sides want the distance. However, that money is nice for our current establishment in the US.
Yeah. It's something that I'm going to call it out directly just because of what time it is and how I want to progress this. But the difference for me is that the left don't want to see the Palestinians lose their lives. Like the active genocide that's occurring in Gaza is what the left has been harping on. The right is actually the reason why they are actively trying to pull support from Israel is because of white nationalists and hatred towards Jews, Jewish people. Like that's something that we're seeing a growing conversation point, and you see that highlighted by people like Nick Fuentes and Groypers, which is becoming a more prevalent voice within the right side of the Republican Party. Like it's a whole thing. And so the point where I make is as far as like, oh, yeah, I mean, both sides are saying like pull support from Israel. Yeah, but it's still like different, right? So, but all right, test 1 second here. Debbie's in the chat for Mary. Mary sent a $20 donation towards the nightly donation goal, saying, thank you for the great discussion on your panel tonight. Mary, thank you. I really appreciate you. And thank you for the $20 donation. Guys, that means we only have $205 left in our nightly donation goal. We can definitely knock that out. For 205 people send $1. We can close it out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. Sean, you know what thought I had really quick while I was leaving?
What?
You remember the first episode of the Boondocks? And when Riley went to the garden party and he made the white people riot.
Oh, yeah.
And then Grandpa, he woke up and Grandpa smacked him and said, "Did you just have a dream about telling white folks the truth and making them riot?"
Yep.
I was just thinking, Sean, don't make them riot.
That's exactly how I feel every time I'm up here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I was sitting there thinking as I was trying to go get water.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny that you thought about that? Because when Leon was talking, the reason as to why in the Boondocks that episode, instead of audience, this thing, because I know you know, the reason as to why the white people rioted in the Boondocks is because Huey had told them something about Ronald Reagan.
Told them the truth.
He had told them the truth about Ronald Reagan. And so they got upset because they supported Ronald Reagan. They remember his presidency. They supported him. They were Republican. And so when he told them the truth, they rioted. And I was going to ask Leon something earlier about Ronald Reagan. But go ahead, though. Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Sean, no. Yeah. All right. Also, W's in the chat for I guess it's Tarrat, over on YouTube, who sent the the thank you and the happy poop. I don't know what happy poop is, but yeah, and I read that right. Poop, P-O-O-P. Happy poop. W's in the chat for you. Thank you for that. All right. I do want to push it along a little bit further, and I want to actually come back up to Bethany. Bethany, I want to come to you because I would love to hear your idea around what America First truly means to you and why you think it's something that, or do you think it's something that could be a unifying force between like both sides of the political aisle? Bethany, are you there? Bethany, I'm going to send you a request to come off mute.
I'm sorry. I was distracted. What was the question?
I was saying I would love to hear your thoughts as far as what America First truly means and how that could be an actual unifying concept for both sides of the political aisle.
America First.
And not the talking point, but the true meaning.
Honestly, at this point, after just talking about Israel, I'm not really aligned with America First.
What do you mean?
I just don't think that our country is in a very good position to be putting ourselves first. I think that we do need to unify more before we can say that.
What's your stand on Israel? Maybe I missed that.
I believe that what's happening is awful. I think no genocide should be happening.
Yeah. Okay, I was a little confused. I didn't know what your position. Just in case anyone is wondering what my position is, Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal. Israel is a terrorist state, and free Palestine until it's backwards. But I guess the point that I'm getting to, right, is unification is the point that I'm trying to drive home with the idea of America First, and so that's where I'm trying to get an understanding as far as like how is that actual premise of unification, because I like one thing that I've said here and said is that people who tout America First has missed the boat on like the fact that we have like farmers suffering, right? We have farmers who are losing their farmlands, which is of course going to impact us as far as like our groceries and all this other stuff. But at the same time, we are losing like the subsidies for the ACA, right? So people are going to lose access to healthcare. But then at the same time, you have hundreds of thousands of Americans losing jobs, right? And so while you talk about like, yes, the farmers, the idea of the farmers is important to the people on the right, and the idea of the ACA is important to the people on the left, but then you have the jobs, which is important to everyone. All of these things are America First actual items, but they're not branded that way. Why do you think we need to actually address that and try to get to that as far as America First?
Oh, I think that is very important. And I think that a lot of people don't even realize that that's what we're fighting for. I think under this administration, I feel like a lot of these things are being taken away, yet the administration is trying to convey in a way that they're helping these things. Just like with my family is very conservative. I'm the only one in my entire family that is on more of the left side. So being able to talk to them, I can see that
Wait, hold on. You guys, hold on. Sorry. I'm gonna show you guys this. This is wild.
Is it the AI?
Yeah, it is. Okay, hold on. Wait, okay. I'm gonna turn this around. Where'd it go? Here. Can you guys see that? Look. MAGA discussion, debate America first, meaning AI. Do you guys see that? You guys see that?
Hey Santana, I've seen that actually for about a week on my lives. Every time that I open one, and it changes as you keep touching different
actual
subjects.
AI.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It kind of just reminds me of like when you go on to videos on your For You page and it shows like the blue letters and you click it and it brings you to a link. Is it kind of like that?
Yeah, it's routing people based off of the conversation. And so it's the algorithm learning as we talk about certain things, and then it pushes it out to bring people in for that portion of the conversation.
I mean, that's good.
And it's very accurate.
Sorry, I just had to break the fourth wall for a second. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Yes, they are watching us. They are absolutely watching us. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what I was saying was my family, they're very conservative, and I guess I'm always trying to convince them of what's actually happening. Sorry, I'm like I'm on the spot right now. It's hard for me to like concentrate. I would say, sorry, can you repeat the question?
I guess to wrap it around to a pointed topic, why should we be focusing on those things that everyone in America are actually looking for, as far as like healthcare, food security, and job security, instead of like the things that are being used to separate us by the ultra wealthy, like the certain identity politics?
Well, I think that's very important because, well, in terms of like healthcare and having jobs and all of those things, those are things that you need to live on a daily basis. Healthcare, for example, my sister has heart defects. She needs to have those on hand all the time. And sorry, I keep getting notifications. For the administration to take away the healthcare is very hurtful for a lot of people, because my sister could lose her medications and she needs that healthcare, and other things too, for like farming and stuff. My parents also are farmers and they need stuff to be able to farm, and right now they are struggling. They voted for Trump, but they tell me every day they're struggling to make ends meet, and they don't understand like how they voted and the way they use their money too, because they try to make less to get more from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, I wasn't really allowed to have a job because if I was making more money, then we would lose money from the government. And I just don't think it should be like that at all.
Yeah, I think that the actual healthcare is a right. It's something that should be secured, right? No matter who you are. And I think that's something that we live in the richest country on earth, and there's no excuse for not having that access. So I do think that's something that we need to address. All right, 1 second here. W's in the chat for Jorge. Sorry, Jorge sent a $20 donation towards the nightly goal, saying, don't know what it's for, and it's not a big amount, but you good people, and I hope it helps. Thank you so much for the $20 towards the nightly donation goal. I really, really appreciate you. Guys, that means that we are now only, we are now only $185 from closing out the nightly goal. We can make that. We can do that. If 185 people send $1, we can close that out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links, and links are in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Brother Mitch, coming to you because you have not gotten to chime in on this just yet. Let's talk about the AFC. Yeah. I do like to talk about the American Football Conference. Did Brother Mitch just go away? I was just coming to him. He said, nope. No. All right, Sean, you want to talk about the American Football Conference, the AFC. I mean, like, I'm a Panthers fan, but sure, we can talk about the AFC.
And that ain't the AFC I'm talking about, brother. You know damn well.
Go ahead, floor is yours.
Y'all know what the AFC is?
I don't think people do.
The AFC stands for the America First Committee. It started in the 1940s. It was in, I think it was 1940 to 1941. And it was to stop America from sending troops to Germany. That's what it was for. It was to stop America from sending troops to Germany. Let me ask y'all a question. Why would America not want to send troops to Germany during World War II?
Would anybody like to chime in on that?
I mean, they were inspired by us, so that's twin right there.
They
I swear. I mean, I know, Sean, you know that, but like Hitler literally.
No, I know.
Sorry, my fault.
Cotton picking time. Yeah,
man. He was like, "Yo, Jim Crow did his thing. We need to do that over here." You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, yeah.
Very much so.
I'm
brother Mitch, yeah, hold on. Are you back in the request? Okay, I see you. Brother Mitch, how are you?
There I am. Good. How you doing?
Good. Brother Mitch, I would love to have you chime in. What do you think America First really should mean? And why aren't we focusing enough on those actual things that that could benefit all Americans, where it seems like there's a pretty common thread between those things?
Well, it's exactly what you were saying. America First should mean taking care of Americans first with health care, with food, making sure people are secure, have affordable housing, clean water, all the things like that. I think what happens is, since we are a capitalistic country, that profits rule over everything, and that when you get that profit model in there, that they become greedy and they don't look out for the people. But the thing I don't understand either is, if more people in the lower middle class have the money in the system, they're going to spend that money, stimulate the system, and the money's going to go right back up to the top. So
so that's something that like I've been trying to highlight, and a lot of people don't necessarily understand that, right? And so, just due to the fact of time, I'm going to go ahead and like force the issue. The call out that I have that I specifically wanted to speak to in my notes. Where is it? Yeah, here. Talk about the desire of both groups to see the change in the country because of the feel that both parties are forgetting about the everyday American and are only focusing on the ultra wealthy parts of the party. When you talk about Elon Musk, who is on pace to be the first ever trillionaire, and you also talk about the fact that, again, the billionaires and millionaires run both political parties. The true point of America First is kind of like what we've already been talking about, is removing the power from the proletariat removing the power from the plutocracy that is that's occurring within our governmental system, and giving it back to the actual people, right? And so we're being propagandized, Brother Mitch. Like, literally, we're being propagandized, and we're being gaslit into thinking that we're fighting for different things when we really want the same things, but we're separated because the people at the top want to keep us separated so they can continue to keep power. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I think that comes down to the money in politics itself as well. The 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 lobbyists and all that type of stuff. They put the money in so they look out for their best interests and not the best interests of the people, and that's on both sides. The other thing to understand too is, I know you were talking about Mom Donnie. That was a little bit earlier. I think why the established Democrats didn't fall in his favor is because he is so far to the left and everything here is going so far to the right. But that's what we need to pull it back together. The other thing I don't understand too is why. See, back in the day when I started voting, like in the early '90s, it seemed like the two parties were able to make compromises a little more. Like they come together, they have some ideas, make compromises, and they vote on it. And I guess I guess it seemed to happen when Obama got in, and I guess we know the reason of that. That the parties went totally opposite. Nobody wants to compromise with anybody. Nobody wants to have anything happen. And that's one thing I really don't understand, why the parties can't come together.
Well, and the reason being is because again, there has been a split, and that's what we're talking about, the actual shift. And you can talk about the inception of the Tea Party, and then transitioning to MAGA, and then even now, right? You take a look at, like, again, the Groypers, right? Do you know who the Groypers are?
Yes, with Fuentes and them.
Yeah. So like the Groypers are getting very loud, very, very loud on the right, and they're starting to make this push, especially after the whole Charlie Kirk situation and the issues that were occurring between Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes, where Charlie Kirk was more so the voice on the right that was perpetuating the idea towards the young white Christian nationalists. But then, like, now it's Nick Fuentes and pushing it even further than where that was. So like, that's a whole thing. But the reason why we don't see as many quote unquote political wins where it's, trying to compromise is because both parties are being hijacked by certain people who have certain agendas that they want to actually perpetuate versus actually doing anything that benefits everyday Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Go
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I can see that. I see what you're saying.
Give me a sec, Sean. You said you had a question for Noah.
Yeah, I got a question for Noah. Noah, everybody's saying that America First needs to be this thing where we take care of American citizens and make sure American citizens have what we need in order to live. Right? That's what y'all been saying, right? That's what they've been saying, Santana?
That's what I was trying to make them say.
That's fair. All right. So we need to have all these things that we need in order to survive. I got a question for Noah, because I think Noah gonna have an answer to this question. Hey, Noah, where we getting them resources from?
We peacefully acquire them. You know what I'm saying? We make little deals around the world.
It's manna from heaven.
And we do our
It's
little
manna from heaven. Manna from heaven. Wrap it up. Rap live over.
Look, I'm so glad you brought that up, because like I had asked you a question that's kind of related to it. Maybe not in the most direct way, but like this is only possible through like imperialist plunder. And this is why, I mean, I'm sure you feel similarly, but this is why I don't look to the Nordic countries as like, this is my inspiration for like what the country should look like, even though I'm pro like social programs and stuff. And obviously like socialism can accomplish those things. But places like the Nordic countries only have those things because of their participation in NATO and because of the fact that they're able to get these materials for really, really cheap in the global South, like at the expense of others. And so like,
I'm not going to let both of you break my panel.
Oh, my fault.
An FYI. Just an FYI.
My fault.
What you mean, chat? Free us.
Whatever.
This is authoritarianism right now. Y'all are seeing
it. Is. This is a full-blown dictatorship. We need to understand what's happening right here.
Y'all are taking it too far for us right now. We didn't want to go there just yet.
No,
And
I
you
mean
were
that's
asking-
We got to solve America first before we talk about the
exploitation of the global South.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, but like that's true. That's absolutely true. I mean, that's such a no. I don't.
I think there's ways to do that. Like the way we're doing it by invading other countries and just going and bombing them, that's not a way to go. And that's only going to benefit like corporations like Exxon, like lithium of the Americas, lithium of Argentina, Rio Tinto. There's ways to do that. We need to change the way we're doing things. We can still take care of our people here while not going and invading and destabilizing other countries. You know, I don't know if you follow what's going on in Latin America, but we are in Mexico, we are in Brazil, we are in Peru, we are in Argentina, all over Latin America, and all those people are going to end up suffering because of us.
See, okay, so this is why I didn't say anything about this, but two, didn't necessarily want to talk about it, because I've been told that when I do these certain topics that, and Sean, so like, I'm going to blame you because like, this isn't on me. I was told that sometimes like the topics are too heavy and it's too much, especially because late nights are like 3 nights for 3 hours. And then when I like bring these topics, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start bringing my topics to you and let you decipher them. Cause I like, it's like dumping like a whole puzzle on the table, right? All of my thoughts, I just like dump them out. And then from that point, we have to kind of organize them and then like separate them and say, okay, like, yes, but we can't do all of this in 3 nights at one time. And so that's why at times it's not as much or not as deep, but like, yes, I mean, like the actual understanding as far as like how we achieve this premise of America first, and then not only achieving that, but at the expense of the global South and the exploitation of resources and just the continuous genocide that's being perpetuated in places like the Congo and Sudan. Like all of this is tied together, and it's all tied together through capitalism, right? Yes, imperialism and capitalism, it's all tied together. And so no matter if we, you know, figure out how to make America first and we somehow win, everybody else loses. Everyone else loses.
Exactly.
This is all I've been getting at this whole time.
But I was told that I can't go that deep because it's like, it's too much. So it's on you.
Under the system that we have in place.
You have to understand. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, Santana, you have to go that deep. I have lives like 30 times.
We have
three
three
times a
nights for
week
3 hours.
Deep topics, and we go as Leon. Leon and I are usually like on the same line. He comes to mind, or we like, you know, and we go deep into these issues. I mean, there was a full-on war on these topics yesterday on another live, and believe me, people are very interested. I mean, especially with what Leon was saying right now, that the United States, the situation that we have with Venezuela, with Colombia, and for those of you,
video that I got to make about that. Trump said today there is nothing that he's ruling out, including boots on the ground in Venezuela. We all know it's about the natural resources and the regime change that he wants, and not even necessarily about the natural resources, because they offered him access to a majority stake in multiple aspects of natural resources. But, you know, capitalism, Sean made a great analogy about capitalism. Even when you have everything, you still want more. So even with the offer that Venezuela put on the table for the Trump administration, it's still not good enough because it's not everything.
it's never enough. And you know what? I mean, you're seeing what's happening with Venezuela. It already started. We're seeing what's happening with Colombia. But what's more, is that his intentions is actually to go and do the same thing to Mexico. I don't know if any of you saw the article published by Rolling Stone magazine, where they talk about the plans to invade Mexico, and they
he's been
tell
talking
you
about that from ever since he started.
Every single detail Yeah, but a lot of people thought it was rhetoric. A lot of people thought he was just saying things for the sake of saying things.
It's been him using the justification through the targeting the cartel. Like that's the justification. Yeah,
exactly. When he named those organizations organizations, right? When he did that, he was already setting the stage to go ahead and invade these countries. And let's not forget, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Mexico, but there was more than half the country, there were this big, I guess, discoveries of lithium. And so that's a big coincidence, right? That this was found, and then
I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, Mexico got weapons of mass destruction. Because hey, that's how we got that oil, right?
Hold up. You said they got aluminum tubes.
Mexican politics, okay?
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, aluminum tubes. We seen them with aluminum. Is that yellow cake? Oh, don't drop that yellow cake. Yeah.
Well, there is the biggest lithium mine potentially in the world.
Coming back now.
Oh, sorry. I said the biggest lithium mine potentially in the world was found in the state of Sonora, Mexico. And with this huge investment from the Chinese government, they are building this massive plant that's gonna rival Silicon Valley. So just watch out for what's happening in Mexico, because
also what's the I meant to look it up. I was listening to Joey panel the other day, and someone was talking about what's the treaty that just expired in Mexico?
Tratado de Guadalupe? Oh no, the Bucareli.
Yeah, where Mexico now has access to their own resources. And can you talk about that for a second?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, just to make it really simple, it just expired, and then the new Mexican president didn't want to sign it. Mm-hmm. So now Mexico is actually able to just take advantage of their own mineral resources, mm-hmm. and be able to work on producing certain things that they couldn't do before, because to protect themselves, like enriched
nuclear power, right? Uranium.
Nuclear power. Yeah, I don't know if I could say it, but yeah.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, we just say stuff here. Not all the bad words, but we say stuff. Yeah, but that's absolutely a thing, right? I mean, and again, it's going to be interesting, to say the least, as far as to see how the Trump administration actually tries to handle Mexico moving forward. And again, I when he first got into office and he started talking about invading Mexico to take out the cartel, and then trying to basically say the cartel is the Mexican government, it's all lined up. It's all lined up. And that's, what he's doing in Venezuela, and that's what he's doing in the global South. And yes, it's the exploitation of, the evil empire, and Sean and Noah got us completely off topic. And I'm telling you guys,
what?
Yes, all of you hijacked the topic.
You know what I wanted to say? You know what I wanted to say when you said that? I wanted to go,
whatever.
I'm just saying, look, whenever somebody says something, I do this all the time. Whenever somebody says something and they're just like, look, I just want the president to succeed, or I just want this person to succeed, I just want Mom Donnie to succeed, I lean in and I'm like, what you want him to succeed in? What's he succeeding in?
Capitalist. Speaking of capitalism, W's in the chat for Warshaw for the $1.99 super chat to say manna from heaven. Exactly. This is manna from heaven. If I would have been able to stop us there, when we would have been good. Also, for the $1.99 super chat to say yo and then crab. I don't know what yo crab is, but yeah. And also the $4.99 super chat to say, is this a lobster and crab? I'm allergic to shellfish, so I don't know if you're trying to take me out digitally, but like,
wait, is that true?
Yes, I'm like deathly allergic to shellfish.
No way.
Like 15 times the limit with shrimp. Like shrimp will literally take my, yes, I have EpiPen and everything.
I did not know that.
Lobster, crab leg. My doctor told me that I can have oyster and clam, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm not gonna risk it. It's like, oh, you can, you can have it a little bit. And I'm like, nah. So
I could not imagine living without shellfish. I could not. I'm so sorry.
It's the roaches of the ocean. That's all it is. Like,
I'm so
we're not
sorry.
supposed to eat that.
I don't want to leave, but I have to open and close tomorrow, so I really
Absolutely. No, we're starting to wind down anyway. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye bye.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. They're like they put them at the bottom of the ocean, and then they put them I don't know if people are religious or they believe in God or whatever, or like the actual evolution or whatever. But like they're ocean roaches, right? Ocean roaches that live at the bottom of the sea with hard shells and claws. We're not supposed to be eating those things. We're absolutely not supposed to be eating those things. So whatever.
But they're delicious.
I feel like we're supposed to be eating those things.
They're ocean roaches. We're not supposed to be eating them.
I don't mind. I don't mind at all them being ocean roaches. I'll eat a regular roach. If a regular roach tasted like shrimp, please.
Yeah, whatever. It's not. I'm not missing. I'm not. The point I'm making is I'm not missing anything. So, yeah, that's the point. Welcome in, Matt and Nemo Raid. I saw that earlier. Welcome in, guys. Listen, hey, capitalism. We still have $185 left in the nightly donation goal. If anyone would like to support the live, you can do so. Of 185 people, there's 650 people here. 185 people send $1. We can close that out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. Santana speaks for you. Best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on the YouTube, you can send a super chat, and I will read that out. Also, guys, make sure you hit that follow button. If you look up at the top and you see the word follow, and you're not following me, make sure you hit that follow button. This is the main account, but hit that follow button because we're bouncing back and forth on accounts. With that being said, the topic of this week for late nights is two parties, two sides. We're talking about the actual splintering off of the MAGA party versus the Republican and conservative party. And we're also talking about the divide that's occurring between the Democrats, where you see the the Democratic Socialists starting to take power. We're talking about the reason why there is a shared thread or a through line between the two factions that are starting to push back on the establishments and what they are actually looking for, and more than anything, how the ultra wealthy and the ultra rich is actually the people that we need to actually focus on and take the power back from. So that's the topic and focus for this week, and that's what we're going to be dealing with for tomorrow night and Wednesday night. But we're going to go ahead and kind of put a pin in it because we are technically over the time, even though I started a little bit late. But I do want to give everybody on the panel just a little bit time just to kind of wrap it up and have this conversation. So, Voice, I want to start with you. Voice.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do to ensure? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start here. The actual fringe aspects of the party is the people that most people worry about. I think that on the right, the white nationalists and the groypers are super dangerous, right?
Yep.
There's such a small aspect. Well, not necessarily white nationalists, because the white nationalists are the ones that are in power now. But regardless, they're such small voices overall, and they are making so much noise, and they're pushing to actually gain power. Why is it so important for us to keep the extremists from actually being able to gain power?
Yeah. That's like such an obvious question, but also like such a hard question too, because there's so many different reasons why it's so dangerous. Like if you think about the Groypers, oof, I mean, they make CK, they make CK look good.
They do.
Right?
Also, we say
And
Charlie Kirk here. I
oh,
don't know.
okay.
I really, there's not like, there's certain TikTok language that I do abide by, but it's a lot of stuff that I just say it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, they make him look good, and Charlie's rhetoric was already very, very dangerous. I mean, this is, this is the kind of politics that they engage in are politics of being divisive, being hateful, being I don't know if I can say racist.
Yeah. Why can't you say racist? Yeah, we say
I don't
racist.
know. I don't know. We in the Spanish in the Spanish lives, we have to watch out for like almost every single word that we say, that because TikTok, believe me, in English is a lot easier, but in Spanish, so I don't really know. I don't really get in a lot of English channels.
Like I just made a conscious decision just to start saying whatever I want to say for the most part, and whatever happens.
Okay.
That's a decision that I made, and I'm willing to live with that decision.
Thank you. Yeah, well, that's good. Maybe I gotta do a little bit of that on my Spanish lives. But yeah, no, I think it's super dangerous. I mean, where we're at right now, we have like we talked about before, we have a president that's already like infringing on so many constitutional rights. Mm-hmm. We already have a president who is dividing the country so much, and we have people like Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and these far right like nationalists that are so dangerous to our society. They're normalizing things that should not ever be normalized, and I think for that reason, like we just cannot let them take power, because for sure things are gonna get worse than they are right now. Like 100%. I mean, we already had, before they even came into power, we have problems with the police abusing their power with African Americans. We already had issues with racism towards, but it was like sort of like under under the table. People were like openly racist, but now we have like it's normalized. Now people can actually go out and say, hey, Mexicans or people from any other country that's not white, like they are. What is it that this guy said at the Charlie Kirk's funeral? He said that we are that everybody that's not white, that they're the worst, that they are dangerous, that they're like that they're darkness, that they are. I mean, it was just an awful speech to listen to, and so their speech is hate. And
no, I was gonna say I completely agree, and like the rhetoric that they're using is not only harmful, but they're ratcheting up the rhetoric, and even more so with getting behind that actual type of speech. It's even more dangerous because words lead to action. And like that's what we're dealing with. But Voice, I really appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down, okay?
Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, I'm gonna break the fourth wall one more time. The AI told me to tell you all that apparently there's a bunch of people who haven't renewed their membership badges. I'm assuming that's like you haven't sent your daily heart me's and then claimed it or something. I don't know. The AI is talking to me, so I'm telling you what the AI is saying, because you can't see it, and I'm just going to tell you. So if you haven't sent your daily heart me, go ahead and send your daily heart me, and then make sure you go back in and claim it, right? You got to go back in and then hit like the claim thing or what. I don't know. It's wild. I don't know if this is was just updated or I'm just now becoming like super aware of it, but it keeps talking to me on the screen. It's like it's literally talking to me on the screen. So we live in a simulation. Brother Mitch. Brother Mitch, where do you see the Democratic Party going with the actual split that's occurring? Because the establishment Democrats aren't going to just willingly give up power, but it seems like the people are sick of what they're doing. So what do you think comes next?
Well, the good thing about that is the establishment Democrats are very old. So luckily they won't be around too much longer. But I'm kind of in between there. I'm a little older, but I'm not quite as young as the new generation coming up. But I think we need a lot of that young, fresh blood in there to revive the party. I think the establishment Democrats need to kind of step out of the way. I mean, like Bernie. Bernie's up there, but Bernie's always been there, so he can still kind of help guide them and get them going the right way. But I think the establishment Democrats need to step out of the way and let these younger kids get in there, take over, and do what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, let the young bulls run. I'm with it. Brother Mitch, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Santana. Have a good night.
You as well. Tess, question for you.
You said it right.
Come on now, don't do me like that. Stall me out, Tess. I didn't call you Tish. You that's because now you're a regular, so I remember.
No, I can't be a regular.
So the last thing I wanted to hear from you is like, what do you think about this Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump civil war? Because like now Trump is doing a 180, and even like Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out and said like, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't stick up for all the people that were victimized by Trump in the past with his threats and his hateful rhetoric, and I should have. Like it's a wild thing, but even more so, it seems like overall, even though I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene is genuine, it does seem like there's a growing amount of Republicans that are trying to separate themselves from Trump. What do you think about that?
No, I fully agree. And I'm going to say something a little controversial here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is no more Republican Democrat Party. It's a name only on both sides. It is now MAGA and it's centrist. And I think that's the crazy thing to me is that I grew up my whole life thinking Democrats were so far extreme. I was raised that way. And it's like they have softened on their stances a bit throughout the past 50 years, maybe 30, 40 years. Either
Have
way.
they softened, or has the right gone either further extreme, so now they seem like they've softened?
That's probably more likely. But I think you're seeing some of these people like MTG wake up, and I know that sounds so weird to call her woke a little bit, but I think you're seeing some of these folks realize this is even too extreme for me. And pulling back, and they're starting to align more. But I think, and I like to give the people a lot of credit, but I don't even have faith in people anymore. I think you've got a lot of people though who are calling her and going after her because it's not like she lives in the most high rent area. And they're going to have a lot of trouble coming up because of the way she voted. So she's having to turn around, and she's getting support in her area, but you've still got a lot of the people who, as much as they may support these things, they're still going to back Trump. So she kind of backed herself into a corner, really. They're going to vote in another Trump extremist. I think she's done for after this midterm.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about all of that is I don't think that it's necessarily her doing a 180. I don't even think she's genuine, honestly.
I don't either.
I think she's just trying to get ahead of the curve. I think that's what it is. Because I think once this Epstein file is actually released, there's going to be a lot of establishment Republicans and Democrats. There's going to be a lot of people that are a part of the establishment that are going to get direct blowback for one way, reason or the other. Either they are on the list, or they knew about the list, or they were, holding people back from being able to release the list and all this other stuff. And I think she's just trying to get ahead of the curve and say, like, hey, I was out in the forefront saying, like, we need to do this. And so, like, I should be this type of representation. I think it's just her latest grift.
It's really ahead of the curve, though, because I don't even think it's going to be released. Not for at least until right before midterms, if that. Because I think Trump's going to keep it under investigation the whole time. And hey, guess what? We don't have to release it. So,
yeah. Well, they did put him on record and asked if he would actually sign the bill if it comes through, and he was non-committal. So, but anyway, Tess, thank you so much for coming up this evening. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And hey, just one more thing real quick. I love these discussions. I'm loving it. The way you guys do it, how you have everybody muted and everything. And it's just so much more peaceful, and I can actually learn shit. Like Sean and Noah, y'all are bomb.
No, don't praise either one of them, because they derailed. We were supposed to be talking about other stuff. They derailed the entire. I'm gonna fuss at both of them. So no, don't give either one of them
fuss at them, but they are so awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Tess. Have a good one.
You too.
Noah, you're not coming back up anytime soon. Like no time soon.
Yeah, I mean this is the tolerant left, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. You don't come in here and break my toys. What are we doing? Noah, I want to go back to something I originally said to you though. And the reason why, like, I wanted to call out these boogeyman words, right? And I had you speak to, like, communism as a whole. It seems like there's such a willingness to just accept the fact that people don't understand things, and even more so, something that, like, it really bothers me when I'm like, hey, what is this, or what is this, and they say, well, what it means to me, and then they go off into like this weird interpretation of something that it's not. And I think that speaks to like a lack of critical thinking within our country. How do we fix that?
Dude, I honestly am very pessimistic about that, especially with the rise of AI and stuff. Like there's, like you said, there's an anti-intellectual crisis, and I'm not trying to say this in like an elitist way.
I was told, listen, wait. I had a topic. This was supposed to be a topic that I wanted to do because I wanted to talk about the attack on intellectualism and like and education and all this other stuff. And then I was told that basically I can't talk about that topic because it was kind of not necessarily elitist, but like what's the best words to say? Basically, I was calling people stupid, and I was told I can't call people stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, I think it's a valid like topic to interrogate, right? It's very pertinent to like our current moment. Because I'm thinking about AI, right? And I'm realizing I don't personally use AI, and I'm grateful because I was class of 2023. So I kind of, in college, I kind of avoided the whole AI thing because I like my senior year was when it kind of developed, and I was already getting out of there. But people thought that using Google was like labor. Right. They thought using Google was laborious in terms of trying to find information. And so, right. It's like the search engine was actually the development that made things easier. Right. But now we have this other thing where people just kind of consult an AI overview. And I think it's just leading to this devaluing of expertise. And it's really frustrating because it's like, it's frustrating to me. It feels disrespectful. Like, I can't do what you do. I respect it.
I want to look, listen, you're literally saying all the stuff that I had on my topic, and I was told I couldn't talk about it. Hold on. I got to find this because like literally I was told I couldn't talk about it because, I can't call people stupid. But like all of those things, where are my notes? I freaking deleted the notes. Dang it. I got a screenshot somewhere. I'm going to send them to you. Like all of the stuff that you're sitting here talking about. Hold on. I know I can find them. Finish saying what you're saying, because I'm going to find my notes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I respect what you do in terms of the debating Trump supporters. Like, that's cool. It just could never be me, because I really feel disrespected when I like try to engage somebody on a topic that I'm just like, I've actually committed a lot of study to. Especially as someone who, like, the things that we're discussing here, most of the things, this has nothing to do with what I studied in my university. Like, I'm minored in math and studied music. Like, I wasn't getting into this. So this is stuff I had to like take upon myself. I went to like very like low income, high public schools and stuff growing up. Like, I didn't have access to these things. And it's not to say that I'm not trying to do like a pull up your bootstraps. Like, everybody can learn things. Like, reading is very difficult, and I acknowledge that. But it is still frustrating to like engage with people who like don't value expertise. And think that like the internet democratizes participation in discourse. That's really what it is. I think about that all the time. Like, Twitter, TikTok, it makes it so easy to like share an opinion on things. And I think it just exacerbates this epidemic of people speaking on things that they don't know about.
Yep. Listen to this really quick. So this was supposed to be the topic, the headline. So you see how it says like, two parties, two side. The actual title was supposed to be Goodwin Einstein. And it says, this week's topic will deal with the lack of critical thinking that we are dealing with and the constant attack on higher education and experts in their field. This is an opportunity to talk about why it seems that people are less willing to deal with facts, data, and information, and also being so confident in what they know and not knowing anything. And then the first one was like, is it a fact? And 1 point, like I got multiple bullet points, but one bullet point that I have here that I want to talk about is we can talk about the harm in relying on AI such as Chat GPT and how it's made more people lazy because they're willing to accept anything that they're given and not understanding how to properly use the tools like finding resources. The next topic is who needs education? And I had here, one of the points is, we can talk about when and why higher education became expensive and why racism has harmed the educational system while also costing everyone money. The next point is the more you know. And one of the points is, let's see here.
Reagan.
Oh, say it again.
I said Reagan, that's why.
Yep, exactly. One of the points is we can start off talking about the burden of knowledge and why it's important to share knowledge and try to teach others. And then the last point is time to get smart. And I said here, one of them is talk about finding out what type of education fits people best and how embracing those different forms of education will strengthen us as a society by not locking people into a box and allowing them to be productive in the areas that best fit them. Because, not all education, to your point, Noah, is like, oh, I went to college, I got a degree. Like, there's different types of education that's outside of that. And then I always write out like the goal of the topic. It says to address the attack on intelligence, information, and history, and why it's going down the road that leans on religion instead of knowledge, similar to the Crusades versus the Age of Enlightenment. So I got a whole bunch, but I was told that I can't talk about that. So.
Man, I just feel like there's a way to have that conversation that like avoids ableism, avoids elitism, doesn't center like academic institutions that I think could be really generative. But I feel you.
I was told I can't call people stupid. So anyway, Noah, I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, thank you for having me as always.
Have a good one. Leon. Coming to you. I would love to get your perspective, because I love the fact that you shared the fact that you used to be on the right, now you're on the left. And I think it speaks to not only the sense that people understand that like you get it. human rights are a non-negotiable. How do we get that across to everyone? Because I think that certain people only feel like human rights are non-negotiable when we're talking about their human rights, but not other people's human rights. Like, how do we get that across to them?
My God, that is hard. That's a hard question. Honestly, for me, it was education. It was opening up, reading a book, reading about, Plato's The Republic, reading about Hobbes, Machiavelli, reading all these books, learning about human rights, and then going and learning. And I don't know if you read about Jefferson, Washington, all this stuff that they claim they were, but then at the end of the day, you see that they had slaves, all of them. I think Jefferson had like 600 slaves throughout his life.
Thomas Jefferson lineage still persists in Black America today. Like literally, that's how many slaves he raped. So
Exactly.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, exactly. So when I started opening my eyes, when I started reading more, and I think it was just a natural progression. And the more educated you become, I think you go more to the left. You tend to see what is going on. You open your eyes, you see, how we claim we want freedom and we're all about freedom, but then we go and basically invade other countries, take the resources. How is that freedom? It's like, so how are we gonna not see that and then say that we are all for human rights, but then we go and do those kinds of things? So I think for me, from my personal experience, it would be education. And you guys were kind of touching on it. I have 4 degrees. I'm halfway with my PhD, and I'm actually doing it in AI and engineering.
But are you a member of Mensa?
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead. It's an inside joke. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I'm halfway done through my PhD in AI and engineering education, and I use AI, but I have the background. For me, as a productivity tool. I think people, I get what you guys are saying. Like AI is for me, it's a tool, and if you don't understand what AI is, it's just you can misuse it, and it could definitely make you dumber and stupid.
I think. Well, we don't want to say DUMB because that's ableist, but like it is like I think a lot of people don't understand. And so I am a millennial who I remember time before having like a computer in the home, but then I also remember time where like computers in the home. Like I remember the AOL dial-up disc. I remember when like PowerPoint was like all the rave, right? I remember I learned how to create a PowerPoint and it blew people's mind. And then I learned like Tableau, and then I learned like with like Lean Six Sigma certification, like I started doing like data analysis and all this other stuff. But learning how to actually utilize those tools and to be able to use those tools. And I like AI because it's a tool, but I think people are becoming reliant on AI, which is dangerous. Versus actually utilizing it as a tool. And again, that speaks to like properly educating yourself. And once you properly educate yourself, then you understand that the value in human life versus, just being selfish.
Right. If you don't know what AI is, I wouldn't call ChatGPT AI, it's just like narrow based AI. It's just kind of a more, it's just
keep it simple for them though.
Right. It's an engine, it's a search engine that's optimized, for me. It's like, but everything I taught, I train my AI, and then I train on the way I write, because I've actually have a lot of essays. I've been in school for more than 12 years. So,
what do you think about Grok? I know that like one last quick question for you. What do you think about Grok?
I don't use it. I just don't like anything Elon Musk does. I just kind of, I don't know, man. That guy is just a piece of,
I love the fact that he has to keep rewriting it because it keeps like telling the truth. That's one of my favorite things. Like it keeps telling the truth and he has to keep rewriting it because he doesn't want to tell the truth.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, man. But going back to your initial question, I think education, reading books that are going to challenge you. And not just that, but also having hard conversations with people who are not from your same political background, and being able to challenge those thoughts and having those conversations. I think it speaks values to your character, no matter if you're right or left, and being willing to open your mind. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, hey, look, let me shoot you a follow. I appreciate you coming up here and
thank you.
hanging
Thanks
out
for
with
me.
us.
He's a very good life, very respectful. You know, not a lot of olds are like that.
Well, this is late nights. My mom watches this. Now, if you catch me, if you ever hear like, if you hear that, like that music start, it's a whole different live. It's a completely different situation. Will not be respectful. So, like, just know there's different lives. So, like, if you if there's a start to the music, if you hear this, that's different. So, just FYI. But I appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for the time, man. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good
great one.
45, 47. Sean, I'm mad at you.
For what?
You know what?
I ain't do nothing.
Whatever. W's in the chat for Warshaw. Holy smokes, guys. Massive W's in the chat for Warshaw for the $50 YouTube super chat to say, let's bring back logic and critical thinking as a specific counter to AI in education. I don't think we have. No, I'm gonna say it. Whatever. I don't think we have the ability to do so because we don't have enough smart people to create additional smart people. People are stupid, and I said it. But W's in the chat for you. Thank you for that super chat, Sean. I'm just gonna give you the floor. I don't have a question for you. Oh wait, no. Can you recreate Solid's explanation of faces and heels with the Democrats and Republicans?
Oh yeah.
That was such a good analogy.
We were on we were doing Wild Out Wednesdays on the bread, and I forgot what question it was.
So we were talking about you guys were talking about like why the Democrats
I remember exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. But there was a question. There was a discussion question. I think the question was, should marginalized people be liberal?
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it was. And if not, then what should they be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer was no. Marginalized people should not be liberal. For the reasons that the liberals don't fight for marginalized people, regardless of what they say. The whole thing, politics, especially in the West, is what wrestling calls kayfabe. Yep. Within kayfabe, you have a bad guy, that's your heel, and you have a good guy, that's your baby face. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called, baby faces and heels, good guys and bad guys. And for kayfabe, the good guy and the bad guy, they go out there, they do their promo, they say how bad the other one is, and whichever one is supposed to get what they call a push, is essentially just giving them the opportunity to become like the people's favorite. Whoever's getting the push is going to be the baby face. Mm-hmm. But they go out there.
Or you could be the top heel.
Or yeah, that's true too. That is true too.
Like,
that is true too.
Like Jade Cargill's current push, which they
right.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But like, yeah. I was trying to keep it as simple as possible, but you're absolutely right. But yeah, Democrats play the baby face while Republicans play the heel. And the reason why Democrats are playing the baby face, to give that analogy, is because Democrats, when it comes to the babyface losing a title, the babyface can't always win the title. You got to have the heel win the title a few times, because then the babyface has an uphill battle that's easier to sell you when trying to give them the push to be a babyface. So they strategically lose to get that push.
It's all a work, brother. It's all a work. Sean, you ever worked yourself into a shoot?
Worked yourself into a shoot. I ain't heard that in so long.
I've worked myself into a shoot plenty of times.
Worked yourself into a shoot. I gotta call my grandma, actually.
Oh
Next, you gonna ask me if I ever been tried and found wanting. That's what you gonna ask me next.
Oh, I thought that was a Southern thing. That's just a Black thing.
I think it is too. Honestly,
I thought it was just a Southern thing. All right, Sean, thank you for coming up. I really appreciate you. Wait, you want to do the outro with me?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let me drop the backup. Also, guys, massive W's in the chat for Warshaw for the $1.99 super chat to say, what's a baby face? Sean already explained it. You got to rewind it. Babyface is the good guy, though. Babyface is the good guy. Who, Sean, recent history, who is he sucked as a babyface, awesome as a heel?
Sucked as a babyface, but was awesome as a heel.
And always won as a babyface too, though.
You talking about in wrestling, right? Or you talking about in real life? Okay. Well, sucked as a babyface, awesome as a heel.
History.
In recent history, yes. In recent history, sucked as a babyface and awesome as a heel. The first name that comes up, and people gonna get mad at me when I say this, but I'm gonna say it: Randall Keith Orton.
Really? You think so?
Very much, really.
That's not the first person I think
I'm sorry. But sucks as a babyface, amazing as a heel. But who's first person to come up for you?
When he was the Viper. Come on now.
I'm lost.
Head of the table? The tribal chief?
Oh, you talking I thought she was pointing at something. I'm sorry.
I was putting the ones in the air.
I thought she was pointing at something.
I was acknowledging it.
But your ones that nah. You absolutely right.
The big dog sucked.
I think that his push as a babyface
it was too much.
Was very industry. Was incredibly industry.
Exactly.
Incredibly industry. The tribal chief
was
boy.
Listen,
boy.
The heat. Yeah. All right, that's enough wrestling. Let's get out of here. That's enough wrestling.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice. We build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues.
Guys, Sean and Noah broke the lie today. We were supposed to be like on topic and focused, and we just kind of went off the rails. And so, whatever. Sometimes we do that, and I enjoy it. But tomorrow we are going to be locked in and focused, and we're going to be talking about these two different parties with two different divides, and we're really going to get into it. So back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. 3 hours, late nights with Santana. We're back. We're going to get back into this panel discussion. If you did not get an opportunity to get in tonight, I'm sorry. But I will get you guys in tomorrow. If you are interested in joining the conversation, get back here, because I really want to dig into more about the America First principle and the through line that is connecting these two different parties. There's a lot to it. Also, W's in the chat for Warshaw for the $1.99 super chat to say late nights with Santana. Yes, absolutely. Guys, it was really good. We'll be back tomorrow for sure. And I'll probably end up debating at some point tomorrow too. I think maybe you guys might get a BOGO tomorrow. Who don't love a deal? 2 for 1. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. I appreciate everyone being here. Guys, thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares. Thank you for just showing up and showing out as you always do. I love you all so much. And guys, Sean, say it with me. Come off mute. I love you.